Welcome back inside the Rose Hill studio here on the campus of Fordham University here in the Bronx, New York. I'm Tom Tisdale, joined alongside by Anthony Smith. We also have got Sam Giangrande behind the glass, and he'll be chiming in for some soccer talk as well as some chats about his Fanatics Fest experience that he's had over the past couple of days. We're a bit short-staffed today, but it's still going to be a pretty incredible show. We're going to talk World Cup final, World Cup third-place match, some MLB All-Star stuff. We'll be joined by our sports director, Bobby Chaffardini, for that. We'll talk Yankees, Mets, and then heading into the final hour of the show, we'll talk the Open Championship. We'll have a LeBron-a-thon, which we'll keep as a surprise for now, and then we'll have a little game brought to us by our producer to round off that show. But before we get into the content of today's show, Anthony, how are you doing today?
Thomas, I'm good. It's been an interesting week. Finally back down in the Bronx area after being up in upstate New York for a couple of weeks, but I go back in just a couple of days for the last week of New York collegiate baseball and going to the Yankee game tonight. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see the Yankees in action and see the difference between two different levels of the sport.
Yeah. Before the show, we were talking about just how drastic the difference is between collegiate baseball and you had some great stories about just how lackluster is the wrong word, but just like baseball is a game that could be played by anyone, but and the difference in quality is staggering sometimes. Sam is going to be on our producer mic. Sam, I don't know if you want to talk about your Fanatics Fest experience yet. He'll have some clips to play with us because he met a ton of people, but for me, like, the story this week has just been like the smoke that has descended upon New York City. I know you're in upstate where the smoke was probably worse. And there were some questions about whether the World Cup final would be postponed. Thursday, it was like we were living in an apocalypse. Everyone in New York City had a mask on. No one wanted to go outside. It was pretty terrible. I don't really know where I'm going with this thought, but just the smoke was just, kind of unbearable.
Yeah, no, you're right there. I didn't want to go outside. I was thinking about going golfing that day, and all of a sudden I get a text from our group chat up there saying that the air quality is really bad. I'm like, I just kind of want to stay in the rest of the day. I don't want to go golfing, and just kind of ruined my mood a little bit for the 2 days, but baseball was still played, so I still got to experience some outdoor action. But Was the baseball game, did it seem to bother anyone who was playing the game? I know you mentioned that the coach of the team that you're covering didn't want to move the game to the following day because he didn't want a doubleheader. But did you think the smoke impacted it in any way? I don't think so. I think everybody that was supposed to play ended up playing. Nobody really sat out. I think if they wanted to sit out, they probably could have said something to the coach, and he would have easily made a substitution. But I think everyone would have rather played a doubleheader on Friday just because it's 7 innings for doubleheaders and not playing in Thursday, which was much worse than Friday, which was yesterday, obviously. But the games were played. We got them through. Everyone seems to be good. And I was obviously a lot better up in the booth, so I didn't have to deal with the air quality as much, which was good.
Yeah, that's good. One of my coworkers was describing, I guess it was a couple years ago, where the sun was like, everything was like orange out because of the wildfires. Pretty similar situation. And he played a soccer game during that time. And then the next morning he was like coughing up black soot from the smoke. And that immediately scared me off. I did not go outside pretty much at all Thursday. I just, I walked to my room. I just sat in my room as soon as I got off work. And it was pretty, it was tough, but it looks like it's finally clearing up. It was clearing up yesterday. There was still some lingering smoke, aura and scent about the place. But it seems by Sunday, and that was the real concern with the World Cup final. I think there was a meeting about whether the smoke was going to, postpone the game, or whether it was going to have to be moved. I don't know how they would have managed that. But it looks like the smoke is finally dissipated, and we'll finally be able to play. But it seems that our producer is finally ready. Sam, for the past couple of days, has been able to go to Fanatics Fest. I don't really know a whole ton about why Fanatics Fest sort of exists as a thing, or as an event. But there were so many people there. If you followed him on Instagram, you got to see so many famous players, celebrities from LeBron to Messi. Like the World Cup final press conference was there. But I'll let Sam talk a little bit more about what he saw, what he heard, and the overall experience that he had.
It was a strange event. We were talking about it before we started, but overall, it I agree. It's kind of weird. Like, what does it exist? Like, why? Kind of just like a PR thing for all these celebrities. Like, it's meant to everything go viral and everyone to kind of just push stuff out. But I'm not complaining. I think the coolest parts were the panel, seeing everyone just talk about random stuff. We do have a few clips I want to share of just people talking. We have one of Brunson, and I don't know, I thought it was really cool seeing when people you don't really see together, like Brunson and Josh Hart with Aaron Judge. It's kind of just like tides mixing. Everyone's kind of just, I don't know how to describe it. Just talking about sports and just hearing personal experiences. It does make it really cool. I would say as an event, it was a little weird, but it's still a very cool thing. And for the most part, I was we're very fortunate to go through media credentials, but for the people who just had to pay, most of the stuff's free. Once you buy a ticket, all these panels and stuff, for the most part, you get to go see it for free. So if you're lucky to get in, then you're seeing some of the most famous people in the world right in front of you talk. So it was overall, for me, it was an incredible experience.
Yeah, it was, for me, just seeing all the people that you got to encounter and all the people that Travis Hayden, who's there right now, just got to see was staggering. Because I think usually with these events, you see, there's usually just 3 to 5 famous people, and the rest of them are sort of fillers, and they try to hype those 5 headliners, so to speak, up. But it feels like this whole event was just nonstop, from Knicks players to, I know Karl Anthony Towns was there, and there were a lot of MMA people and WWE people that Travis Hayden was fanboying over, and then just the World Cup aspect of it, I think was pretty amazing to see.
Yeah, it was. I agree. When I first saw the lineup, I wasn't too amazed, but then they announced oh, the Knicks are coming now. There's gonna be World Cup stuff coming here, and because people like LeBron, Brady, they were already known to be there, but having the entire Knicks team coming, stuff like that's huge. And the first day I went, we got to see Brunson, Josh Hart, and Aaron Judge talk about experiences of being in New York, what it's meant to be a New Yorker. I'm gonna share a clip quickly of Brunson just talking about that game 4, the comeback in MSG, and how he felt during the entire thing.
Was it a sense of confidence, or was it, hey, our hair's on fire a little bit?
I don't think we were nervous. I think we were more disappointed in ourselves than we were playing, but never nervous. We worked way too hard not to be confident in what we got. So yeah, I won't say nervous at all.
Yeah, I knew, like I said, we lost both games by 1 point, and we were playing terrible basketball. We weren't making shots, so we knew if we go out there and refocus, knock down shots, take good shots, it wasn't going to be a series, and I feel like that's what we did.
So right there, you heard Josh Hart and Brunson talk about just the mentality of these games, and it's cool. It's something where obviously we are media, but you kind of get to see what it's like to be in that role of getting to ask these questions, being face to face with these athletes, and see just a glimpse into their world of what it means to be a superstar, if you will.
Yeah, I think one storyline when we were hoping that would be sort of explained coming into this one was the LeBron storyline about where he's going, and we do have a dedicated segment just to LeBron later in the show. But when he came out on stage, I think everyone was sort of expecting him to announce what he was doing. I remember last year when former sports manager Joe Henry was there, that's when KD either announced or it was sort of leaked that he was getting traded to the Rockets, and I think people expected a similar thing to happen to LeBron here. And I know before the show, you were talking, Sam, about how LeBron kept trolling people about it, how he kept talking about how he enjoyed the weather in Miami. But then, when people asked him, like, oh, do you have an announcement to make? He'd just be like, nah.
Yeah, like when people came on, it was electric. It was probably the loudest I've ever heard a crowd. Really, there's people around me crying just being in the vicinity of LeBron. And I think the immediate question was, is he going to announce where he's going? Because there, like, the entire time people say, like, come to Brooklyn, come to Philly, like, and like people were just kind of going with it. And then right off the bat, when the first questions was, LeBron, do you know where you're going? Adam Silver is now even saying, like, oh, we need to make the schedule. Like, it does revolve slightly around you, and we were able to get a response to that, and we'll play that right now.
Stop exclusive right now. Where you going? Y'all know you can't hear all y'all answers at once.
Literally, we was backstage. He was like, yo, the question I gotta ask, like, all the forces that the Air Force Ones you be wearing and shit, like, they super dope. Then we get out of here and you pull that stuff.
I had to wait, you know what I'm saying? It's for the shop.
It's for the shop. We don't have an announcement to make this shit, guys.
The entire world is waiting on this. They're waiting to schedule the game. They're waiting to do everything.
That's great. That's great.
Bro, it's all on you. That was great.
But like, I can't believe the world. I'm not even joking. That the world is still like 23 seasons.
23.
Wow. I mean, LeBron is the ultimate troll, and I think
He has to be after that.
yeah, he really just milks every decision that he has to make. I'm surprised he hasn't come out with the decision back when he was going to Miami for the first time. I'm surprised he hasn't done a similar thing, and I wouldn't be shocked if he does have this crazy announcement. We were talking about how when Timothée Chalamet announced Marty Supreme or something like that, he was on top of the Las Vegas Sphere.
That's what I want to see.
And I
need
wouldn't
to
be
somewhere
surprised if LeBron
spectacle.
does
I
that.
think he's waiting though for the World Cup to finish it. Then he'll
True.
take the
He's the
spotlight
spotlight for all of himself.
Maybe
I
he
like
comes
that.
out during the halftime show. That would be electric.
and then sings us a song.
I forgot who's the halftime performer. We had a long
a
argument
lot.
about this, a
Yeah.
month ago or something like that. But considering all the stuff that FIFA has done to milk the halftime show, wouldn't be surprised if LeBron's announcement comes in and LeBron comes in and makes an announcement about where he's going. But we'll have more conversations about LeBron. But we're going to take a quick break for right now. After the break, we'll talk the World Cup final. It's Spain versus Argentina. We've got lots of thoughts about it. Obviously, I'm wearing an Argentina jersey, which Sam is not excited about, and you'll find out why after this break.
It's WFUV New York.
I'm Kurt Sipple, telling you to tune into One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. Catch us live every Saturday on our WFUV Sports YouTube Live from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and later on 90.7 WFUV from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We break down the week's latest headlines with our collection of tri-state area beat reporters, along with interviews with your favorite athletes and media personalities. WFUV is your home to talk all things New York sports.
Hello everyone, I'm Trey Rodriguez, calling you to tune in to WFUV Sports One on One, New York's longest running sports call-in show. We're live every Saturday on YouTube from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and later at night on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We cover the latest news in the sports world with our wide range of beat reporters, as well as exclusive interviews with your favorite athletes. We'll see you next Saturday on One on One.
Welcome back inside One-on-One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. If you'd like to call in, the number is 718-817-2750. Obviously, for the next segment, we'll be talking about the World Cup final. But, of course, if you'd like to join for any segment after that, we'd be happy to have you on. We'll also have some Yankees tickets that are going to be given away towards the middle of the show for Monday's game versus the Pirates. So if you'd like to win some tickets, just stick around and we'll give you a way to win those and a chance to go see the New York Yankees. But before we get into sort of the preview for the game, we've played 100 games in this World Cup, the biggest World Cup in history. But we've got 2 games left. We've got the third place match that we'll be talking about in the next segment, and then, of course, the one that everyone's really focused on, and that is the World Cup final between Spain and Argentina. But before we get into sort of the preview for that, Sam, at his experience at Fanatics Fest, David Beckham got to speak about the World Cup final and sort of what it means.
Yeah, to me, this was the most engaging one because even though it was very cool to see Messi be, 15 feet-ish, not even from me.
Yeah.
I think this is the most engaging one. It was really cool. I love David Beckham. I think that's a fangirling moment for me. I think he's a great player. And I don't know what it is. It's just like classiness. I love seeing him speak. And he was engaging. He had a really good panel of talking about what it's like being in the U.S., focusing on soccer and the World Cup. So we'll quickly play that for you guys now, hear what he thought about the World Cup so far.
5 weeks here in the US and in Canada and Mexico, and obviously we're coming to the final game on Sunday, so it's been pretty incredible. It's been a privilege to be part of it. As being next to Ricardo again, if you think I'm professional, you should see this man. You know, I was such a big fan of his as a player, but I'm an even bigger fan of his as a person. He's the greatest person and the greatest human you'll meet. But as a player, there was not many players that you look at that could do what he did through his whole career, not just for the clubs that he played for, but also for his country. I know how loved he is in his country. When I first played with him in Milan, it was a lesson for me because, like I said, I felt that I was a professional player. But I was even learning things from Ricardo because he was special. He was the first one in the gym, the last one out of the training facility, and he seemed to spend the whole day and most of the evening in the training facility. So it's a pleasure to be here with him today, but also it was a pleasure to play with him and play against him as well.
So that was David talking about a bit of the World Cup, and I forgot to mention that Ricardo Kakko was right next to him. Brilliant midfielder, won the Ballon d'Or in 2007. Teammates at AC Milan, but I don't know what it is. And I'm gonna sound like a little fangirl again, but he is such a classy person. I wish I had the level of PR training he had in every single clip you see them talk. It's the most formal, most just well-spoken person I think really out there right now.
Yeah, I growing up, I actually have a picture of me dressing up as him for Halloween, with the tattoos of his daughters on my arms. That was a little bit weird. But I also used to get his hair gel because he has so many products. But yeah, just a really fairly good person to look up to. Obviously, he's a celebrity and is a little narcissistic, but that just comes with the territory.
It's expected.
Yeah. But let's get into the game. But before we talk about the final itself, let's just run through Spain and Argentina's path to the final. Spain in a group with Cabo Verde that drew Cabo Verde. I think probably the biggest result of that group stage. Then they beat Uruguay and they beat Saudi Arabia, and then in the knockout stage they pretty handily beat Austria. They eke out a win against Portugal. They escape with a win against Belgium before, dismantling, probably the best team in the tournament up to that point, France, in the semifinal 2-0. Argentina, as we've talked about and as, social media has talked about a lot, a little bit of an easier run to the final. They were in a group with Austria, Algeria, and
Jordan.
And Jordan, yeah. So 3 weaker opponents, I would say, compared to Spain. Then they beat Cabo Verde in a thriller. They beat Egypt in a controversial thriller, to say the least. Then they beat Switzerland, again, another controversial game, in extra time. And then they come back late against England in the semifinal, and that sets the stage for the final, Spain versus Argentina, happening Sunday at 3 p.m. Thankfully, the show's going to go on the radio before then, so our takes and our predictions will have some time to marinate, and we won't immediately be crossed, or not crossed, not the right word, but just held accountable for them, I guess. But I mean, let's get right into it, Anthony. I know you're not the biggest soccer guy.
He has ball knowledge,
but you do have ball knowledge, and I know you followed that U.S. team pretty well. But what do you think about this game? Are you excited for it? As a neutral, I haven't heard you express like whether you prefer Spain or Argentina, but just take me inside, what you're expecting from this final.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Sam's not gonna be happy with this one. Thomas, you're probably gonna be happy, but I'm rooting for Argentina.
Okay, I like that.
I'm a nice fan of Messi. I was rooting for him in the 2022 World Cup, and I followed along closely. I feel like I've been watching a lot of Argentina's games, so I've just been following along with those ones, and they just find a way. They're inevitable in a sense. So they're going against a Spain team that has only given up one goal. So they've got good defense. I can imagine Spain coming out to an early lead, but just don't count Argentina out of it late in the game. So I'm very excited. I was considering this on the way up, that this World Cup is better than the last World Cup we had a couple years ago. But I think in order for this World Cup to top it, I think we're going to need a really good final.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's going to top the Argentina-France game that we witnessed 4 years ago, but it's like somewhat close. Like, I think it would be good enough, because I think the knockout stage has been peak soccer to watch, and I think it's really drawn my attention to soccer and made me become a lot more interested than I usually am.
Yeah, for sure. I do think I need to I owe an explanation to the audience, because last one-on-one I was wearing a Spain jersey, so it seems am I playing both sides? Maybe a little bit, but this was sort of I can't say this was the final I wanted. I just didn't want France to win, but obviously I'm a huge Messi fan. I would say he was my first love growing up, continues to be one of the few loves in my life. And then Spain, I really enjoy the way they play. I know they're a bit boring to watch sometimes just because of how strong they are defensively, but from a pure tactical standpoint, I think they're pretty incredible to watch. Probably got the best midfield in the tournament. Probably most club-esque team in the tournament. Like, if there was one team that I thought could contend in the Premier League or in the Champions League, I think it would be Spain. But now I'm just going to give the floor away to Sam and let Sam, just go on his rant about Argentina and why he's rooting for Spain.
I was actually going to start with just Spain. I think even though they have been boring, tactically, it's been phenomenal to watch. It's like, it's kind of hard to switch off like that part of your brain where you just want to see like goals, but tactically, like, they are brilliant, and like there is part of me that loves seeing that. But I can also say they are very boring to watch, but I don't think that's too much of an issue, because sometimes being boring does win you games. I will say, no matter what, they have the hardest knockout stage. I think easily the hardest knockout stage. Yeah. They would have, so Austria, I think they're ranked around 24th. Portugal, 5th. Belgium, I don't know, are they still in the top 10?
Yeah, I think they're 6 or 7.
Oh, really?
I didn't mean to do that, but they're one of those two numbers.
Yeah, right around there. And then France, who's 3rd. I think 3rd, 2nd or 3rd. Yeah. So they've had, like, since round of 16 to the final, they've had only top 10 teams. Like, they've had such a hard path to get here. And Anthony, you said they only gave up 1 goal, and on top of that, they only conceded 7 shots on target, which is, I mean, this has just shown that Unai Simon has had such, I wouldn't say an easy tournament, but he's had his defenders and his midfield give him such a relaxed tournament, because he's only had to make 7 saves. That's it's unheard of. This
Mm-hmm.
team would, if they do win the final, they'll go down as it's similar how they won it in 2010. They're not scoring a lot of goals. They didn't have that one default goal scorer. I think this year they actually have a more definitive goal scorer in Oyarzabal, but they've been so reliant on like a midfield being tactical, playing it slow, and I think it's been great to watch. Like I do enjoy watching Spain, even though I was so beyond happy at that Cape Verde draw. I thought like what they were able to do, Vizinha was phenomenal, and I like you said it, Thomas. I'm gonna be rooting for Spain in this final. I'm not gonna give a prediction. If people who've been following me on social media, like they see, like it's kind of at this point when I have said anything, I get trolled immediately, and like it just goes back on my word 2 seconds later. I've probably had the most messages in my life after that Argentina win against England, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna say I want Spain to win, but I'm not saying anything in the sense of, oh, this is what's gonna go down. And the only thing I will say is I do think Argentina has had a pretty easy way to the final. Nothing really against the England game. I will say there should have been more bookings, especially right at the start. I don't like the concept of if stuff gets physical right at the start, it shouldn't be booked. I don't like that concept. If someone's gonna be like very physical and violent at the start, it should be called out for. But I will say the one thing I was kind of annoyed about the England game was Messi. Was he offside? I don't think he was for that first goal where he had the assist to Enzo. But it's just the concept of they reviewed the Anthony Gordon goal maybe 100 times. We had the semi-automated angles immediately because they were, even though he was miles on. But for the Messi one, where I think, even though I do think he is on, it is a lot closer. We never saw the angles. We never saw the semi-automated show us, like, is he on or not? That's what annoys me, is that we this is stuff we have to see, and we don't get to see it. And FIFA pushes VAR. They push out this semi-automated technology, and like there was still so much time left in the game. They can't pull the excuse that it wasn't ready. It's semi-automated. But even though their other games have been controversial, for the most part, they did deserve this win against England. England going a 5-4-1 in a semi-final when you're up 1 goal in the give or take 60th minute. I think they only had 12% possession after that 1 goal. And you saw Enzo was taking firecrackers outside the box throughout the entire game, and one of them was bound to hit. So I'm really not too much against Argentina besides, once again, refereeing decisions. But England, that was, and you text me this, Thomas. You said Southgate can leave, but the Southgate can never leave you. It felt like Thomas Tuchel was in a mask, or maybe he had a clone. I sounded like some conspiracy, but it felt like Southgate was pulling the strings because it was a Southgate tactic. This is what he was known to do, and it shows that it doesn't prevail against a team who plays better. And I will say Argentina did play better.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing for me is that I understand sort of the controversy around decisions, which, extends even before the World Cup with sort of the seeding and how, the top 4 teams got on different paths setting up the semifinal matchup that we just saw. Because otherwise, I think Argentina and Spain would have met in the quarterfinals or earlier, I believe. But then sort of the decisions surrounding FIFA have continued, and most of them have, been, surrounding Argentina and some of the favorable decisions that they got. The Egypt game is the one that everyone's going to talk about, and we've talked about it on this show and on, FUV FC, which is, WFUV soccer podcast, a little bit of a shameless plug there. But I think the thing for me is that Argentina, was significantly better than England for those last, 40 minutes basically. And there's some crazy stat that England only completed 2 passes in about 22 minutes of action in the middle of that, right before Argentina scored their 2 goals. which is just, frankly unacceptable. And we'll talk a little bit more about England and, what could have been for the three lines in a later segment as we preview the third place match. But undoubtedly for me, I think Argentina deserved to go through. I think there were three really good teams in this tournament. I think it's Argentina, France, and Spain. Spain obviously dispatched France pretty easily, and we're going to think that, and it sort of makes sense that that Spain would do the same to Argentina, but Argentina just have a sort of a will and a mental fortitude just to pull things out of the hat out of nowhere, and to come back and Spain, I just don't think, no matter how comfortable their lead may seem, I just don't think they can rule Argentina out. But we'll get into score predictions now. Anthony, what do you think? I mean, we can go as simple as just a simple score, but also like predictions for the game. Like, how do you think it's going to go? I know you mentioned early goal for Spain, but do you think Argentina will be able to claw one back?
I think they will claw one back. I think they ultimately win. I'm trying to figure out like how it happens.
Okay.
But I'm definitely trying to get specific here. I think Spain will score in the first half. I think Argentina will tie it up at 1 apiece, and then I could see Spain getting a late one to make it 2-1, and Argentina bouncing right back.
Oh, okay.
If that does happen, then they go to extra time, and Argentina gets a goal late in the game, late in extra time to win it. If not, I could see like a very similar like England-Argentina outcome, just because of the amount of goals that Spain has let up. I think it could be a 2-1 game where Argentina gets 2 late goals again to win it. But my reasoning for Argentina winning, although the Spain team has been great, and if they win against Argentina tomorrow, it's going to go down as one of the greatest World Cup runs, just considering of how dominant they've been and the run they had to get here and how they put away those really good teams. I think, I don't know exactly what the stat was, but it was like 7 or 8 of Argentina starters were on the World Cup team last year, and they started for them. So the experience is there. They've got a lot of guys that can score. It really hasn't been Messi's show throughout these past couple of games. You've seen a lot of guys taking a lot of opportunities, although Messi has been setting them up, but they've been able to put it in the back of the net. So I do have Argentina winning by 1 goal. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a fun game, and I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I wanted, is a really fun game, like you mentioned. Like, I think this World Cup, in order to top the last one, needs a really strong final. Maybe it's not going to
need some dramatic.
Yeah, maybe it's not going to top the 3-3 penalty shootout win of the last final. But if it's 1-0, it's like all right, maybe. But I mean, if it's super cagey, like if it's the first half versus England Argentina, if that's what it is for most of the game, it's going to be a bit of a letdown for what has been a pretty great World Cup. But I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Argentina also pulls this through. My head says Spain, but I think my heart says Argentina. And I think Spain. I think, like, considering how they went up a goal early against France and didn't sit back, I think that's a really good sign for them. And that's sort of basically, I mean, it's the exact opposite of what England did. And Spain, I think, shows a hunger to go out there and extend their lead by 2, by 3. But I think if Argentina is able to weather the storm and able to stay within 1 goal heading late into the final 20 minutes, I think Messi finds a way. Lamine Yamal hasn't been that great for Spain this World Cup, and I think Messi is just that much of a game changer and just alters the outcomes of the games in a way that we've never seen before. I think that he finds a way, and I think Argentina finds a way to tie one up, and I think we go into extra time 1-1, and I think Argentina, scores a late winner. I don't think Messi will score in the final, but I do think he'll grab an assist and he'll play an instrumental role. But Sam, I know you're picking Spain to win, and I know you don't want to give a prediction, but I'm sort of forcing you to here.
I mean, I'm not gonna say anything, or I'll say a score. I do like how you guys are going really in depth with it, and I think Spain's greatest strength is how they were this entire tournament. They score and they don't track back. They don't go in the box and just defend. They keep possession. They keep the ball in the other half, And I think that was England's greatest weakness, is that they were just constantly like defending. It's like you knew something was going to slip up. But how I see the final personally is I just don't, like, I don't know. I'm trying to be very vague. I don't really see Argentina being able just to get shots off. I think it's going to be very hard to be able to score against the Spain team, and I think it's going to be very relied on an individual moment throughout the game, which I think most people wouldn't disagree that that's how Argentina's played. I don't think they've been tactically phenomenal, but I do think they've had a lot of brilliant moments. But this is really the one game I don't see going to extra time, which right now I already see now going to go extra time because I'm saying that, but I'm trying to think. I don't really see Argentina scoring. I think that Belgium goal was just a straight error from Spain. Like, I think that it was a very good moment, and I think it was just a bad mistake. But I don't really see Argentina scoring. I'm going to say it goes... I think it's going to be a 2-0 win. Nothing extra time. I think both goals come in the second half, though. But I don't see Spain scoring and then trying to hold out. I think I see Spain continuing that fight throughout the entire game. And I think that's why they're going to win the World Cup. But I will say this. I'm counting on Yamal to score. I think he is the definition of a big game player. I think he's going to score this game. And I think when he does, I think he scores the second goal, though. I think he kind of gets that kill shot in like maybe the 86th, 87th minute. And then you see him run up to, like, it sounds like I'm like making a fan fiction of this, but like I feel like he's gonna score like right at the end, like it'll be like hook, line, sinker right there, and then you see Yamal run up to Messi, he crowns himself, and then it's out with the old and with the new.
Where are you going with this?
Wow, that was quite a beautiful story. I mean,
That's
but
the prediction.
The thing
you asked. That's all I can really say.
Yeah, that was a beautiful prediction, and I think the thing for me is that I can see basically any result happening in this one. I think Spain certainly is dominant enough that if they're on their game, I think they can totally outclass Argentina. And like you said, I don't think Argentina is going to have a ton of shots, and I think they've just got to seize the moments when they can. And for the viewers and for the listeners that don't already know about this photo, there's a photo of Messi bathing an infant Lamine Yamal, and it's been circulating around everywhere. I'm pretty sure it was on the Today Show a couple days ago. But I mean, everyone has seen this photo, and I've seen comparisons to how like Harry Potter is the only one that can destroy Lord Voldemort, and your prediction sort of echoed that, Sam, and that Lamine Yamal might be the only one that can defeat Messi. I mean, Argentina hasn't lost a World Cup game in 6 years, or no, 8 years. Yeah, 8 years.
No, Argentina lost against
Saudi
Arabia. They lost Saudi Arabia. Okay, well,
they haven't lost a knockout game. I think.
Isn't the same ref from that Saudi Arabia game ref in the
it
final?
is, but like not going too deep into this, referee is like also committed a lot of crimes. He was never charged but arrested.
Oh yeah, I've heard things as well.
Yeah, so
Sam, I do have a question for you actually.
Shoot, please, I love questions.
Obviously you said Spain, and that's who you want to win. But if Argentina were to come out on top, do you think it's another dramatic finish, or it's more?
Yeah, I don't see Argentina taking like an early lead and then just be like Argentina's dominating the game. If Argentina's to win, it's gonna be like how it was against England. It's gonna be dramatic. It's gonna be, and I don't hold that against them. Like this team has been, they play like flight or fight. They're gonna play with straight emotions, and you can see that like with how they play. I don't really see Scaloni as like a top manager, and I think like how he plays kind of reflects that. Like I think he plays with his heart over his head, and I do see that as a winning mentality when it comes to like a knockout style tournament. When it comes to the World Cup, where it's 8 games instead of 7 you have to win. To win 8 games on straight moments and like passion, it works, and I think that's how Scaloni plays. But I don't really see Argentina winning in like some tactically beautiful game and being like it's going to be a complete utter like dominance from them. I see it as I like no matter what, I see Spain scoring first, no matter the outcome. It's just can Argentina bring it back? I will say this though: if Spain do win, I think, and this might be beyond a hot take, I think Messi losing 4 international finals, it would be 2 World Cup, 2 Copa America. But I'll focus on the World Cup. If Argentina do lose this final, they went to 3 finals and 4 tournaments. If they are 2 losses and 1 win, specifically for Messi, to lose 2 World Cup finals, I think outweighs him winning it. And
that's a little diabolical to me. I think that's
crazy.
For me, that's kind of like the LeBron Michael Jordan debate.
Yes,
and
I was about to say.
I don't even think Ronaldo's as great as MJ is in terms of.
I'm not talking
final
about
success.
Ronaldo though. I'm just saying I would tie it in saying if Ronaldo even made it to 1 World Cup final, I think he does. I think he wins it no matter what. But I think having 2 World Cup final losses in your career and only winning 1 for a country who's already won 2 World Cups before, I think it outweighs him winning it. That's just me, though.
But, like, is there any sense of argument, like, that Argentina should have won that game in Germany? I know it was, like, a late-game winner from Germany, and Higuain, I believe it was.
Like, missed a bunch of opportunities.
Yeah, missed a bunch of
So,
opportunities.
like,
He had a lot of
I don't think
missed
in all
opportunities.
3 finals he's played, I don't think Messi has ever been the favorite to win any of them. Like,
Yeah.
France was supposed to win last time just because of, how great that front 4 is. And I mean, they were a weaker team than they were in 2018, I think. But then in 2014, that Germany team was just, destroyed the host nation 7-1. And then Argentina sort of not ekes through, but like miraculously escapes and makes it to the final. Like, I just don't
think
think
it's similar to how it is now. They kind of squeak by.
Yeah, and so I don't think we should be discrediting Messi for losing World Cup finals against better opponents. It's like LeBron bringing that Cavs team in 2018 against the unbeatable Warriors. Like, I don't think we should take away from LeBron's greatness because he lost to a team that is much better than the team that he brought.
It depends on how you lose. We were talking about this with the U.S. men's national team. You can lose a game, and you can lose a game. Like, I think if, like, Argentina go out bad, you can start talking about it. But say if it's, like, similar to, like, the Spain-Portugal game where it was, I think Marino had a 91st minute winner to make it 1-0 and just win the game then. If that's how the final goes, unless if Yamal scores and just completely, like, emotes on Messi and, like, pulls a Griezmann.
He's really big on the emote on Messi.
He's
I want to see, like, some type of, like, literal
What if he
Fortnite
starts
emote.
cradling Messi, like, in the middle of the pitch?
Oh, like a full circle moment,
Yeah.
maybe. I think no matter what, there's gonna be some type of link up between Messi and Yamal. Like there's gonna be some like iconic photo taken, but like I would have loved to see as much as I've clowned on Yamal and say like as a person I don't like him, but as a player I think he's phenomenal. This is like the one time in my life I'm like Yamal. Besides when I saw him score against France and Germany, this is like the one time I'm like, please score. Like he would actually make I think the most iconic photo of all time of recent history. I would say if he's able to score maybe a late winner and then he just does some type of email on Messi. I think that'd be like cinema right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really I hope he scores so we get the emote of your dreams, and I'm excited to see what you say about it on your story. And then Messi will come back, score twice, and then we won't hear from Sam again. But I think that's going to do it for us talking the World Cup final preview. After the break, we'll talk about the third place match. Some people are calling it the real final. I don't understand that debate. But yeah, we'll be right back with more one-on-one after this. Do not go anywhere.
This month at Yonkers Kia during the summer sticker sales.
Hey, what's up? It's Owen Kelty, one of WFUV Sports' New York Knicks beat reporters. Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks look to dominate the East and bring a championship back to New York. Keep up all season long on my X account at Owen Kelty for all the highs and lows of New York Knicks basketball. WFUV Sports is your home for all things Knicks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to One-on-One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. I am Tucker Austin, joined by Anthony Smith, Thomas Tisdale, Sam John Grande behind the board, Bobby Chaffardini in the building as well, and also shout-out Travis Hayden IV for making those graphics for the YouTube stream today. Sorry I'm late, everyone. It was a bit of an interesting last 24 hours. I covered the Yankees last night against the Dodgers. We got home at midnight. So it's already going to run on like 6 hours of sleep, and then slept right through my alarms. Another big shout out to Thomas Tisdale.
Oh, please.
Throwing the call. He is probably the reason that I'm here in time for this segment. And we're talking the third place game in the World Cup. England versus France, what some people may call the People's World Cup final.
Yep.
I think that's a good I would say it's a good descriptor for this game, just based on where a majority of fan allegiances lie. I think a lot of people are sort of naturally anti-Argentina at this point, just for the sole fact of them winning the World Cup in Qatar in 22. So, and then Spain has also had plenty of success in their time. England hasn't won a World Cup in ages, and France is just, I would say, they're the most fun team to watch. They play the best brand of soccer,
yeah.
I would say. They're just constantly moving, the one-touch passing when it's necessary, but then they'll kind of spread it out. I thought France would win this World Cup. I really did. So I was disappointed to see that they didn't get to the final, but this should be a fun game. It really should be. It's later on today as of this recording, but if you're listening on 90.7 FM, from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. That game will be over, so this segment doesn't help you that much. But if you stick around, you can hear how wrong we are. But yeah, let's get into it. France and England third place game. I'm gonna save my pick, and I'm gonna let you guys go after this first. Thomas, what do you think? How do you think this game plays out? Third place games. If we were thinking in the American terms of like a consolation game, you would think that neither team really cares.
Yeah,
but this is the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of the case of of what it is today.
I can't really tell. Is your mic busted?
Is my mic on?
I can't really tell.
I can't tell either.
All right, well either way. Actually,
anyway.
You know what? If you plug yourself in over there, it might work better.
Should I go and get my
brief technical difficulties? But Ant,
yeah,
go crazy. What do you think? I mean, what are your thoughts in general on this game? I was gonna save it for earlier, but now I think we're kind of off the rails. I think France will win this game handedly. In case I hadn't already kind of tipped my hand a little bit. But yeah. What do you think?
I got France pulling out.
Okay.
I think maybe Mbappe scores a couple goals, try and take the golden boot away from Messi. But Tucker, you make a great point. I feel like the third place game is just, we're just playing an extra game after losing a heartbreaking game in the semifinals, and it's just a battle of two really good teams that could have seen themselves lifting the World Cup trophy. Again, this would have been a great final if we saw it. I would have very much been pleased with the final that we got. But honestly, you got to feel for these guys playing a third place game. I do think France will take it, though.
Oh, yeah, so you're over there now, Thomas?
Okay, I've shifted over.
It's going to be a fun game.
I don't know if you're on camera. You might need to scoot.
No, it's fine. My ghost will be there.
All right.
But yeah,
Ghost of his computer.
Continue, Anthony.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, France, I like it. I like Mbappe a couple of goals. I mean, he has been a dog this whole tournament. But which we knew, like we knew this. And last week I tried to knock Mbappe down a peg or two for like the whole saga of him leaving PSG. Then they win back-to-back UCLs without him, and it kind of begs the question like how valuable was Mbappe on that team? But that's also kind of ridiculous. Like he is an excellent player. There's a reason he's at Real Madrid and not PSG. He's a serious talent, but I would say France across the board loaded with talent just around Mbappe. It's absolutely insane. But Thomas, now that you have a voice again, what do you think?
I mean, I agree with pretty much everything y'all have said. Like the France team's just absolutely loaded, especially that front line. They've got players that are worth 100 million plus, which is a lot of money for people not that in tune with club soccer. I mean, they've got 100 million plus players riding the bench for this team that haven't even touched the field this World Cup, and that's just how stacked this team is. But the Spain, I think the Spain manager after the semifinal game sort of acknowledged that, and that France has the best roster, but he said Spain has the best team, and I think that's sort of what we saw in the semifinal, is that Spain just looked a little bit more cohesive, and during the game, France's attack struggled pretty heavily, and you'd think that at least one of those guys would be able to figure it out, and it seemed like none of them had it, but you'd figure, despite the game not having a lot of weight, not having a lot of meaning behind it. You'd think that they'd try pretty hard just to prove something to the world that this French team is still actually pretty good. And Mbappe, maybe he's a little bit selfish, but I think he'll also want to go for the World Cup Golden Boot. He's he's tied with Messi right now. He's a couple behind Messi in the all-time standings. So I wouldn't be surprised if he stats pads. There was one game in like 1958 where the Golden Boot winner had like 5 goals in that game, and he won just because the other team just did not care. And we can talk a little bit more about England, but I do think France takes this one. I think just because they don't. I mean, more to prove is probably the wrong way to describe it, but I think they've got a little bit more meaning and a little bit more desire and a little bit more want to take home the win.
I get what you mean. Like a win for France in this game means I think like infinitely more than a win for England in this game. But let's talk about England for a second, because across the board we said France, but it's definitely not going to be easy. I mean, this is an English team that's probably the best that we've seen in our lifetimes. Both in terms of how deep they managed to get into the tournament, and I think just of overall quality, because the teams that we've seen melt down in previous World Cups have been like a little lackluster, and yes, they've been star-studded as they usually are, but you can kind of use the argument that to kind of cross-sport here, in international basketball, you remember at the Olympics when the French team was kind of saying like, oh, you can't just throw like a bunch of NBA players onto the same team. Yeah. That's kind of what the outside looking in view on England has been, I think, for a majority of like the history of the World Cup, has been like, yes, you have some of the best players in the world who are from England, but they don't play together, almost entirely don't play together on the same club team, and they kind of just throw them all together and hope that it works. This year it worked a lot better than usual, and I think it was in large part to Jude Bellingham. He emerged in a different way than he has in the past at the international stage. I should say. Like Bellingham has been excellent at the club level. We know this, but I remember at 22 he was at that World Cup and didn't really make that big of an impact. He did not let that happen this time around, and I really think that England is going to give him a run for their money. But again, I don't really see it. Is there a way that either of you can see that England gets through and actually beats France in this game? I don't think it's entirely out of the realm of imagination, but I mean, we all just agreed that France is going to win this game, but do you see any chance for England, and what might that be?
I guess I think that the result of this game is just going to boil down to which stars actually want to try in this one, and we've discussed the reasoning behind Mbappe wanting to go in and put out one of his better performances. I think the question is whether Jude has something to redeem. Has something he was pretty largely absent in the game against Argentina. Same can be said for Harry Kane. So maybe those front two and certainly like England's talisman certainly maybe need something to prove and need a performance to hang their hats on. But I was talking to some of my English friends, I guess, if you will, like in the knockout stage, and they were saying that Jude Bellingham might be the greatest midfielder that England has ever seen. And I was like, maybe we should slow down a little bit on that one. And then he scores 2 against Norway, and then I'm like, all right, like he is the real deal. And I think that this World Cup really cemented it in his legacy for me in terms of being one of the best players that England's ever seen. And you were talking about before that this team feels like the most team-like, I guess, we've seen of England in the past few World Cups and the past few major tournaments. So the question is now, like, when will England ever do it?
Yeah.
Like, third place isn't going to really cut it anymore. Like, they made it to the semifinals in the 2018 World Cup. They've made a couple Euro finals. They've lost to Sam's Italy. They lost to Spain before. And so now it's just a question of when is England finally going to get over that hump? And you just struggle to see, like, all their stars. Harry Kane's going to be 35 next time. Like, you just struggle to see a scenario where England has a better shot than they did this World Cup, and I think that's really gonna haunt them. And so maybe they'll go out and they'll try to prove that we were the third best team and we shouldn't have gone out in the way we did. And for me, I think that's where England's going to win. But I don't think they have enough, to be honest.
The craziest thing for me is that the cohesion is there, but with a relatively divisive manager.
Yeah.
That the media seems to be out to get to take his job away. Thomas Tuchel. I feel a little bit bad for him, but at the same time, like we've been talking about the underachieving here, and where like their sights were set much higher.
Yeah.
And they fell kind of flat against an Argentina side that's kind of been coasting through a easy path, to say the least, in the knockout stages. But really quickly before we move on, I wanted to get both of your takes on the weather situation in Miami. England have already won a game in extreme conditions in Miami against Norway earlier in this World Cup. Today at 5 p.m. in Miami Gardens, Florida, the real feel will be 99.
Jeez. That's
mostly sunny. Real feel in the shade of 96, so you're not getting much help from the trees or from the awnings at the Miami Stadium, I suppose we should say. And a lot of humidity. Do you think this impacts France more than England, considering England has already won a game in the extreme conditions in Miami? Ant, we can start with you here.
I think it might. I also think that this France team, this England team, they're not going to, put these players down, have them dying out there for a third-place game. So I could definitely see some players being pulled early on the France side and on the England side. But England, with that experience, you got to imagine helps them out a little bit. And it's not like we all think collectively France is going to win 3-0 and just dominate England. But I do think England is going to come into this game a little bit thrown off, because I feel like, and feel free to disagree here, I feel like they're more affected by their loss to Argentina than France was to Spain, more because it was a heartbreaking one. They had it for just another 30 minutes, and then the 2 late goals, all of a sudden the game's not theirs anymore, and it's just
deflating, to say the least. Thomas, what do you think?
I agree that like the experience aspect of it definitely will help, but I do think England might just be out of gas. Like all 3 of their knockout games up until the semifinal were really hard fought. The one against DR Congo, you think that's one that they're going to take pretty easily. They end up having to win it in the 80th minute. The game against Mexico, they're playing in the Azteca, which is like I think it's like 6,000 feet above sea
Insane.
level.
What was that? The first time Mexico lost to the Azteca in like 30 years or something?
They've only lost like 3 official games,
yeah,
there, which is just absurd. And you think that maybe sapped a little bit of energy. And then the game in Miami, like the conditions for that, I mean, even hotter than the ones than it's going to be tonight. You think maybe that takes away their energy. And then I think you maybe saw it a little bit against Argentina. I think they were a little bit too willing to sit back and sort of not to just run up and down the pitch, which is, understandable to a certain extent, but it ended up costing them, I think. So you think maybe they're just out a little bit, they're out of stamina, out of, desire. They've played in such tough conditions this entire World Cup while France has been playing in New York and Philly and Boston, and then the one game that they have to go play down south, it's indoors in Dallas. You think maybe that's, maybe those are a little bit more fresher legs for France, and their game was a day sooner, so you think maybe France has a little bit more legs and can pass around England a little bit more.
Yeah, we shall see England and France. The third place game in the 2026 World Cup is at 5 p.m. in Miami. In the 2 hours leading up to the game, the real feel will be north of 100 degrees. So it should be interesting to see those guys literally warm up and then go at it. I'm excited personally. I'm excited to see how this game plays out. Even though it's a third place game, it's still a good rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
And if both teams kind of psych themselves up for it to go out and just just almost ruin the tournament a little bit. Yes, they're not playing for the World Cup final, but could really twist the knife a little bit if you're France or England against each other.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for our World Cup talk for today. On the other side of this break, we're going to be giving some reactions to the MLB All-Star Week, the Home Run Derby on Monday and the All-Star Game on Tuesday. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more one-on-one on 90.7 FM WFUV.
It's WFUV New York, fostering community with public media from Fordham University. On air, online, and always commercial-free.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to One-on-One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. I'm Tucker Austin, joined again by Thomas Tisdale. Anthony Smith has taken it back into the studio, and we're joined by the illustrious Bobby Chaffardini for this MLB All-Star Week reactions segment. Bobby, you were in Philadelphia with our very own Kurt Sipple on the coverage for us. A fun-looking home run derby from what I could tell from home. At least for the in-person experience, the All-Star Game, too. I was happy with it. Another win for the American League. Who doesn't love that? But if you want to call in and join the conversation, the number is 718-817-2750. That's 888-275-2750. Jump in. Like I said, we're talking MLB All-Star. And for the next hour or so, we'll be talking baseball in general. We'll have Yankees and Mets on the back end of the hour. But, Bobby, let's start with you. First off, how you doing? How you doing today?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Fantastic, yeah. Hopefully
Well, that's awesome to hear.
Everybody here at the station feeling the same today. I mean, other than my allergies a little bit rough.
Yeah, I'm
with
sure the
what's going on
wildfires are
outside,
not
but,
helping. I heard that segment while I was driving on my way here this morning. The smoke was unreal this week. But I will say, yesterday, it cleared just in time for the Yankees to start the second half against the Dodgers, which, I mean, I was happy about. I was thinking about wearing a mask to Yankee Stadium yesterday.
Maybe.
Because in the morning, the air quality index was terrible.
It was like 180 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. But then again, I looked at the rest of the map in the United States, and I went over to the Great Lakes, and like all of Michigan was purple. So, I mean, like you take what you can get. If there's gonna be wildfire smoke, you'd rather the number be under 200. Yeah, I think.
Interesting times, to say the least.
For sure. I mean, I did not like having an orange sun for most of the week. I was not a fan. I'm glad to have the yellow one back.
I didn't like Aaron Boone not listening to himself in the seventh inning either last night, but that's another story for another day.
Yes. Well, we'll get to the Yankees on the other side, but let's keep it with the All-Star game for now. Just give us an idea. What was your experience like being there in person? I know I personally have never been to an All-Star week as a fan or to cover it. Thomas, I'm not sure about you.
I've not.
Oh, yeah. So give us kind of like the quick rundown. What's that experience like being in the building for a home run derby and for an All-Star game?
Well, crazy to say, but this is number 15 for me. I hadn't really realized that it had been that many, but impressive, I would say, to be there for 15 All-Star games and getting a chance to cover it with Kurt Sipple, your assistant manager, his first. Have to give props, even though it's enemy territory for our Met fans, but Philadelphia did an amazing job as a host.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think the crowd was unbelievable. Obviously, most of it in favor of all of the Phillies folks.
But naturally,
Yeah,
like
that were
if
in
they
the-
finally bring the All-Star game back to Yankee Stadium, the Yankee fans are going to give everybody who's not a Yankee a serious problem.
And I think that's on tap too, right? Like those are a couple ballparks
Well, it should
in
be.
the Yankee Stadium.
That was what was interesting about the Cubs being awarded the 27 All-Star game because Wrigley Field and I think Wrigley, have they hosted one? There were two stadiums left that hadn't hosted an All-Star game, and I think Wrigley possibly was one.
I think you are right.
And New Yankee Stadium was the other one.
Which is kind of crazy to think that
It's
that
weird,
hasn't
right?
happened. But maybe that's, since some of the renovations as well.
I think so. Yeah, 100%. I think a large part of it was probably Wrigley Field didn't have lights for the longest time
It's
because
the
of
Rays. The Rays haven't hosted.
Oh, you're right. It's the Trop. Yes. So it's Tropicana Field and Yankee Stadium. I'm sure Wrigley has hosted at some point, but they haven't in some time.
In my
You're
lifetime,
definitely right about the renovations.
But definitely next year, obviously Wrigley.
Yeah.
In 2027.
If there's a season, and that's an ongoing conversation. But
And the labor dispute definitely was one of the storylines that I think did hang over this year's All-Star game in a negative way. But everything else in terms of the way the fans were, the way the city itself hosted the All-Star festivities, and then shockingly for me too, this was actually the first time I've covered a game at Citizens Bank since the 2009 World Series. I had covered all of those games. So some really good memories going back to the ballpark. But it's been quite some time for me. And I think if there was any other, I would say, message to send along to fans that haven't been to the ballpark in a while, like myself, ballpark is amazing. I mean, Citizen Bank, a really beautiful ballpark. I think they've done a lot to try to add more to it in terms of all of the memorabilia and showcase stuff, especially for Phillies fans. So I was really impressed by the ballpark. And I think, as both of you have mentioned, I think the home run derby to some degree might have stolen the show for the weekend, or not in this case, weekend, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, just to want to clarify real quick, very sorry to all the Cubs fans out there. Wrigley Field has hosted the All-Star game 3 times, but to our credit, the last time was 1990. That was 14 years before I was born. So, I mean,
I
aside from
vaguely
just
remember,
going to look it up.
obviously 90 in my lifetime. I do remember it, there. But again, I still don't know if that was, it might have been before some of the renovations that we talked
yeah,
about.
Absolutely. And yeah, no, Citizens Bank Park always, it's a looker, even on TV. That skyline over center field is just unreal. Like, when you set up a stadium like that, it's just like you can't really go wrong. I wish I could remember it. I was brought there as like a toddler, I think maybe 2 or 3. So I don't really have a memory of the bank, but I definitely want to go back. And yeah, no, you said the home run derby stole the show. I absolutely
think so.
agree. Even though I think the experience was much more different for people at home watching on TV than it was for people in the stadium. Whereas for the All-Star game, I feel like the experience was more or less the same. A lot of the communications like with the fans was like doubled as audio on the TV broadcast, so it was kind of like almost 1-to-1, I would say. But the home run derby was like kind of completely different, I would say. Netflix had the rights this year. It's the first time they ever had it on their air, and they brought in a couple of. I talked about it on Nosebleeds this week. They brought in like a few comedians. Will Ferrell was there. The other Wilson brother, who I can never remember his name, but Owen Wilson's brother, who is also relatively famous. I think it's like Luke, maybe.
Yeah, Luke Wilson.
Pretty sure Luke Wilson. Yeah. So Luke Wilson, Will Ferrell. They also had a third guy at that desk who I didn't recognize at the time. But I was not a fan of that touch. I'd feel like they had Matt Vasgersian calling the actual like derby occasionally, but then they would sometimes cut over to the other guys and let them call it. And I don't know, it just felt very odd and forced in that way. But as a baseball fan, I'm able to kind of separate the entertainment side of things from the core of what the home run derby is. And for me, this new format, a step absolutely in the right direction. What did you think of the format?
Yeah, it's funny too with the format. I think there was a lot of pushback. I think even Kurt and I were joking during the Derby about Jeff Passan making comments that it was going to be terrible. Used actually different words in his social media posts.
He did go and retract.
And
on
he did
Twitter.
retract
He
after
replied
the fact.
to that tweet. So actually, props to Jeff Passan. He didn't delete that tweet. He replied to his own tweet, kind of taking accountability
For it. But I think, and Tucker, this is something you and I have spoken about in the past as well. When you're a fan, obviously you go into it rooting for the players that are your teams, right? The jerseys that are your teams that you root for. So initially for me, as growing up a Yankee fan, obviously was kind of leaning towards Ben Rice. I was definitely excited about the players that were in the field. I thought it was a really impressive lineup of sluggers. But I actually had, in my mind, I thought Murakami might be the guy that would win just because I think he's kind of burst onto the scene, left-hand hitter in that ballpark. I know a lot of people were kind of leaning towards Schwarber, Harper, hometown guys. But I thought it ended up being a very entertaining night of home runs. And Jordan Walker, as someone that's a journalist, I've always said this too, if it's not going to be, let's say, the team that you root for the storylines.
100%.
And Jordan Walker being the first Cardinal to ever win the Derby, and then the way that he went about winning the Derby, that's what made for a great story post-game.
I think it was 6 home runs in a row to win it. I'm fairly certain 5 or 6 home runs straight, and like multiple on the last swing.
Yeah, he gets the magenta ball and then keeps going.
Yeah, which that was a thing. That's been a thing in the past, but it meant something different in the old format. I think I still lean with some of the baseball old heads. I self-describe myself as such often. I still think they should go back to the 10 outs format and not a swings thing where like if you hit a home run, it's a home run and that's it. Like it doesn't count as like one of your swings. The big thing there being that the rounds are capped. You can only hit 20 home runs maximum, and that's if you hit a home run on every single pitch that you see. But if you have 10 outs, you get hot a couple of times within those 10 outs, you could wind up with a total north of 20 that kind of takes control of the field. But it also allows for everybody else to kind of do the same. So
he got
the totals, I think, were definitely down.
He got to 7 and was down to that last swing and then hit the 4.
Yeah.
But
again, we're talking about a winning total. We're talking about 11 home runs. That I personally, growing up, I don't remember final round totals being that low.
Well, that was one of the things that Kurt and I spoke about, too, during the Derby, just kind of shooting the breeze. And I had asked him greatest home run derby in his lifetime, and he asked me what was the greatest home run derby in my lifetime, or even ones that I've covered since I've been to so many All-Star games. And for me, it's Josh Hamilton in 2008, you know, at the old Yankee Stadium, even though he actually did not win that one because the format not in his favor.
Yeah.
But I believe I went back and looked it up. He had 28 home runs in one round, Josh Hamilton.
See, that's ridiculous.
And that's ridiculous. I mean, that's essentially the amount of home runs that was almost hit the other night in totality.
It's the total from both players in the final round, or it's more than.
Again, it's a long time ago, and sometimes maybe memory's a bit of a blur as time goes on, the more things that we do and cover and live our lives. But I feel like Josh Hamilton was at the plate that night for, 45 minutes hitting home runs. So you see the guys in this year's home run derby and so many of them gassed.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what maybe happened to Kyle in that final round, too. I mean, he still did really well, but he could tell he was a little like,
I 100% agree. I think
a little gassed.
I don't think that this field of players was totally ready for the way this format was going to work. I mean, like, you saw Ben Rice. I love that he showed up. Love the story of, like, his dad throwing to, like, everybody saw the clip on social media of his dad throwing to him as a kid, and then he threw to him in the All-Star game. Say what you will about his pitching performance, but he was gassed. Ben Rice got gassed, like, really quick in that first round.
Probably a lot harder to do than people think.
It is. It definitely is, 100%, especially because you're not getting nearly the velo you usually get on these pitches to kind of
and the pressure
recreate the exit velo.
On the BP pitcher as well.
Oh, 100%, especially when it's not your, like, usual team BP guy, and it's just your dad. Yeah. Like, that's like ramp up the pressure times 1,000. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, really quickly, I also want to talk about the All-Star game a little bit. However, I will say that story with Jordan Walker, unbelievable. I mean,
and his family.
His family was awesome post-game. The $1 million for winning the home run derby.
I mean, he doesn't even make $1 million this year.
More. He makes, I think, like $775,000 on his current contract. So making literally more than a year's of your salary in one night for a home run derby. That
great storyline.
The cherry on top, 100%. But let's move quickly to the All-Star game. This, when compared to the home run derby, I think it is a little underwhelming. So I would agree that the home run derby kind of stole the show a little bit. As an American League fan, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the American League just kind of winning all night.
And dominant.
Yeah, absolutely. The pitching was above and beyond. Dylan Cease got the win, but the American League went to, I think, is that 11 different pitchers. 11 different pitchers, but they all had excellent appearances.
11 AL pitchers combined to allow 3 hits and 15 strikeouts.
15 strikeouts. To be fair to...
One short of the record, too, by the way. Tucker.
Yeah. To be fair to the National League, they struck out the American League 12 times, but gave up 7 hits and, of course, the 4 runs. What did you think of Bellinger with the MVP? It seemed like the obvious choice a little bit, just based on, like, they scored 4 runs and Bellinger knocked in 2 of them.
Yeah.
So really, like, what else are you going to do? And none of the pitchers pitched more than an inning, so you can't just give it to the whole pitching staff.
I mean, the hits were hard to come by, right?
I mean,
even the National League only had 3, which was the second fewest in All-Star history, the dominance of the pitching on this particular night. So Bellinger's hit really stands out. Super excited for him. I mean, what a great storyline. We talk about storylines. Bellinger, a player that at one point was one of the premier players in the game, MVP, Rookie of the Year, and then the Dodgers end up eventually DFAing him just because at some point it was kind of a shell of himself, and then has a bounce-back resurgent year with the Cubs, and then, of course, signs with the Yankees and was such a big player for them last year and gets off to a great start this year. I think lately he's been a little slower now that Aaron Judge hasn't been in the lineup, but when you look at some of his career accomplishments, Tucker Thomas, I mean, he's actually put together a really impressive resume for a guy that at one point ended up kind of was told, to pack his bags in L.A.
It's insane. This is my favorite stat that you just brought up, like that resume. Bellinger, the only player in Major League Baseball history to win Rookie of the Year, a League Championship Series MVP, National League MVP, win a World Series, and also win All-Star Game MVP. Only guy ever who's done all 5 of those things.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say at this point I would consider him a Hall of Famer, but hey, he's putting together some resume. Maybe if he wins a World Series with the Yankees and finishes his career strong, you never know. But he certainly has bounced back after a couple of poor seasons.
Yeah, and I think another part of the significance of that first inning and of Rice and Bellinger's hit was that it came off Christopher Sanchez. It came off the Phillies starter, who they started in Citizens Bank Park at the All-Star game. And we could talk a little bit about the American League starting pitching side. I don't know what you guys thought of that whole debacle.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
the Yankees and Blue Jays finding new ways to hate each other because Cam Schlittler did not intend, I would say, did not intend to pitch in this game at all.
No, he didn't care.
Not that he didn't care. I think it was more that, like, it happened to fall on his throw day. Like, he's supposed to go 5-6 innings, throw like 100 pitches on that day. But if he comes into the game and goes an inning, it's kind of going to, like, it might screw him up a little bit. And I think if you're nervous about trying to stay consistent, like, he probably threw a bullpen that was like the equivalent, or maybe like a simulated game that went like the equivalent of 5 or 6 innings instead of ramping up to like a reliever to pitch in that game. But the wrinkle in that is that without knowledge of Cam Schlittler's decision, John Schneider decided we are going with Dylan Cease.
I mean, he said they were going with Cease regardless.
Yes, but and when he made that announcement, the media was like, the media seemed kind of confused because the Schlittler decision happened like the same day that the Cease decision to start happened.
Yeah.
But then Schneider went to the media and said, "Oh, I didn't know that Schlittler wasn't going to pitch. I was going to throw Cease anyway." And to me, that, like, why? Why would you even say that?
Yeah, it feels like a really weird.
Doesn't
thing
like
to
the
say.
Yankees.
I mean, I know he doesn't, but
And who cares?
Cam
They're in last
Schlittler
place,
has
right?
had the best season of any American League starter. I think you at least ask him first and be like, "Hey, or if you're going to pitch,
Well, he said
do you want to
Cease
start?"
based on his career too, which there's some merit to that. He's also, later in his career, and he's put together a pretty good career.
So we're saying, like, he's not sure that Cease would make another All-Star game?
I think
so
he
wanted
was
to give him the
saying to some
opportunity?
degree maybe rewarding him.
Because we're talking, like,
I think he's saying that Cam's going
Paul-
to make a bunch of All-Star games,
Paul
right? Is that what
Skeens
would be
started
implied?
the All-Star game as a rookie. Like, Jacob Mizorowski played in the All-Star game as a rookie. So,
and that was with barely any service time too. for
Exactly.
Miz. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, it's not unprecedented, but I suppose those are 2 National League pitchers, and we're talking about the American League.
Yeah, I mean, it did kind
Which
of
would be a
work
different
out
story.
because Cease did strike out 3 of the 4 batters.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and complain
and obviously
about
set the
Cease's
tone
performance.
the tone for the night.
I mean, it would have been nice to see Cam Schlittler at that All-Star game
Yeah,
instead.
of course.
But
you know he's an All-Star. He's probably going to be Cy Young
Exactly.
winner, and
I'm glad that Rice and Bellinger were kind of able to pick up the
Yeah.
slack where Cam Schlittler couldn't because he wasn't pitching in that game. Like, the fact that both of them knocked in a run, they both had a hit in the first inning off of the National League starter. I think they did a good job picking up their teammate when they knew that there was kind of nothing that he could do about it. And I'll say that I kind of respect the decision from Cam Schlittler this early in his career to kind of pass up an opportunity to pitch in the All-Star game. It's unreal. He really only cares about team success and about the Yankees, and I have to think, like, how can you not appreciate that?
Yeah.
But Thomas, what did you think? What was your perspective? I think we had a similar perspective on this game since we both kind of watched from home. But what did you think of the All-Star game?
I mean, yeah, basically agree with everything that y'all have said. Like, game fairly boring, and I think the Derby took most of the attention. And I feel like, from a casual perspective, I think the home run derby is the one that people normally tune into, and you don't mind Netflix trying to spice that up a little bit and try to bring more casuals into the game who might just be tuning into the derby and then not much baseball outside of maybe the World Series. But the game itself, I think it's just a testament just to how dominant pitching has been over the past few years. It's just remarkable to see like half the outs be strikeouts, and like obviously it might be tough to watch when you're expecting,
home runs,
home runs, like a 10-6 score line, and
like Miguel Vargas.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought he was
had
one
a-
of the bright
he had a
spots. Also
tater to
made a
left.
great defensive play late in the game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're expecting that for
More. You're
like
expecting
for
more
most of
of
the game.
that.
Like when the only extra base hit is a homer in the 8th inning. Like, maybe that's not really what you want.
Yeah.
And maybe part of that is just like the looming lockout that might be happening, and maybe that played a role in this, or maybe it's just how dominant the pitchers were, and the AL and the NL didn't bring, maybe their top guys, and the rest of the guys just really couldn't compete. And I think that's easy when, pitchers are only expected to throw against 3 batters, and then they're done, so they can really bring their best stuff, and they don't have to worry about facing.
I mean, that's
4, 5,
part of
6
it too,
guys.
right? I mean, that Sanchez ends up starting because Miz doesn't pitch, Ohtani doesn't pitch, so
And no Skeens either.
Yeah, no Skeens either. So, and Sanchez was the logical choice. Again, hometown.
Mhm.
He's had a very good season, but I think that was uncharacteristic of him in that first inning in terms of being not really sharp. I mean,
no, it was very loose.
yeah.
It didn't have the zone. And when he did find the zone,
Bellinger.
it was too good. It was just too good. Yeah.
And one thing too, just because I know you guys are going to bring it up, I figured why not throw it out here. But Bellinger, the 4th Yankee to win MVP, so we've got a pair of Yankee tickets for Monday night to give away against the
Ooh.
Pittsburgh Pirates. So
Let's do
first caller that calls in and
Yeah.
tells us who the other 3 Yankees to win All-Star Game MVP, you've got yourself a pair of tickets for Monday night's game.
love that. Monday night against the Pirates.
Yep,
Yeah,
7:05.
Monday night, Yankee Stadium, 7:05 against the Pirates. The number 718-817-2750. If you can call in and name the other 3 Yankee players in history who have won All-Star Game MVP, aside from Cody Bellinger, you will win 2 tickets to that game Monday night at the stadium. I mean, that should be
Yankee
a fun
T-shirt
one.
night too. First 15,000 fans,
and
by the way.
the Pirates, not the same Pirates that you're familiar with for the last 3 or 4 years. Really, maybe the last 6 years or so. This is a Pirates team that is certainly trending in the right direction. I would say, a la the White Sox a little bit. 2 teams that have been
Chicago's been pretty good this
historically, or I shouldn't say historically, but in recent times have been very irrelevant, but are starting to kind of force their way back into the conversation. One more thing before we move on to our Yankees segment. I think a big part of why the All-Star Game had that feel of being boring or dragging a little bit was it was the pacing. It was the actual designed pacing of the game. National anthem was very long. I mean, it was a solid rendition, I would say, but there are some mixed reviews out there on social media about it. I think it doesn't need to be that long. I think the World Cup has it really great the way they do their national anthems, where it's a little bit zippier versions of everybody's songs, where we just kind of
Well, it's not a live
move
performer,
through it.
so that's sort of
That's another thing. But even so, when they had the live performers at the World Cup, I think they also they paced themselves a little bit quicker. But then you also had that fireworks show in, I think it was
impressive.
the 4th inning,
for
I think.
250, yeah.
That was impressive, and it was the 250th celebration. It was the little Sandlot reference. I like
Pretty
that.
cool.
The kids on the bikes. It was a cool baseball moment. At the same time, save it for post game. We don't need a
something that lengthens the game.
We don't need a 20-minute break in the middle of the 4th inning
Baseball's
because
just trying to catch up with all the other leagues in terms of entertainment. I would say.
according to reports, a third of the stadium was empty by the 8th inning in that game. But this is something I said on Nosebleeds. I'm not surprised. The 8th inning didn't start until 11 p.m.
Yeah, it was
a
late.
work night. Yeah, it is a late night, but I mean, if you have an issue trying to keep fans' attention or
Well,
keep
then don't
fans
start
in the
the game
building,
at 8 o'clock, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't start it at 8. Don't pause the game for long stretches in the middle, and then you're good. If you saved the Sandlot reference and the fireworks show for the end, that would have capped the night perfectly, regardless of who won. And yeah, 100% agree. If you start that game at 7, even 7:15
the Derby started
or
at 8 as
7:20,
well.
yeah, the Derby started at 8, but the Derby is not that long. It's not
It
as
was
long as a full
about
game.
a quarter to 11 that ended.
But still, yeah,
under
we're,
3
we're
hours.
not still 2 innings to go at
Yeah.
11 p.m. So I think there's room for improvement in terms of the timing, but I think the idea to have that as a part of the game, I loved it. I loved the whole concept of that. I just think execution could have been like a little bit.
All things I'm sure they'll take under advisement if there is an All-Star game next year.
I mean, I hope so. I don't think. I mean, we could talk about it on the other side of the break, but I really don't think the owners are as unified as Rob Manfred is making it out to be. But either way,
it's all about money.
That wraps.
I did have one more.
Yeah,
one more cool factoid, just because I know you'll love this. Tucker,
Another one.
Maybe it's. Well, shout out to Ben Oppenheimer because he had Jordan Walker winning the home run derby.
Wow.
I wanted to say that, so I thought
You
that
know
was,
what? Of course
that
he
was
did.
crazy.
Of course he did.
Jordan Walker. He texted me that. I was like, Jordan Walker, and then he ends up winning the home run derby. But the one cool factoid for me, just because why not? Let's throw it into the universe, manifest it. Bellinger and Rice, first Yankee teammates since 1962 to record RBIs in the All-Star game. That year, Roger Maris, Tom Tresh. And at the end of the 62 season, Tucker, because I know you're a big Yankee fan, what happens to the Yankees?
At the end of 62?
Yeah. They face the Giants in the
World Series
Fall Classic, and they win in 7. So
Big.
East Coast, West Coast, let's go Yankees, Dodgers, 26 World Series, Yankees in 7. That sounds good to me.
Whoa, okay.
Even though they can't win a regular season game, but
like
whatever.
that.
I'm going to go Yankees in 7 for the 26 World Series. A little foreshadowing courtesy of Bellinger and Rice in the All-Star game.
I mean, I don't think it'll be the Giants, but
well, I said East Coast, West Coast, right? I mean, it'll be like, you know,
okay. Yeah, I
somewhat
gotcha.
similar. But that was a great, that was an epic World Series, actually. Back
The
in
62?
Yeah, for it to go 7. That was the Willie McCovey, you know, Bobby Richardson had a great series, and obviously a dynamic play at the end of that series to kind of help the Yankees win in 7. They win in 61 and 62.
Yeah. All right. Well, that will wrap us up on our All-Star discussion for the 2026 All-Star Game. On the other side of this quick break, we're going to be talking Yankees and possibly rolling the Mets into that segment as well, but we may also chop it up. Who knows? Definitely talking Yankees on the other side of this. Don't go anywhere on 90.7 FM, WFUV.
Want to be part of the Ramley? It all starts here. I'm Nathan Rogers.
And I'm Kate Cox, and we are two of your hosts for On the Hill, WFUV's exclusive podcast for all things Fordham athletics.
From the field of Moglia Stadium to the hardwood of the historic Rose Hill Gym, we've got you covered with the ins and outs of Fordham sports.
Every week, every play, every round. Tune in weekly wherever you get your podcasts. This is On the Hill. I'm Isabella Terracini.
And I'm Barrett Spreitzer. We're two of your hosts for College Gridiron, the exclusive home for all things college football on WFUV Sports.
Join us as we break down the biggest matchups of the week, Heisman hopefuls, and college football playoff previews.
Listen in on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Mary Hawthorne, one of your hosts on WFUV's tennis podcast, Cross the Line. From breakdowns of majors to courtside U.S. Open coverage, we've got you covered on all things tennis from the ATP and WTA. Tune in to weekly episodes of Cross the Line on YouTube and featured segments on One-on-One. Cross the Line, WFUV's home court for tennis.
of your hosts for FUVFC, WFUV's best, if not only, podcast for all things soccer. From insight from beat reporters for all of New York soccer clubs to breakdowns of all the major leagues and events from the international pitch to right here in the States. Tune in weekly as we discuss all things soccer on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. See you next week on FUVFC, a product of WFUV.
Welcome back to One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show here in the Rose Hill studio on the campus of Fordham University in the Bronx, New York. Tucker Austin, Anthony Smith back with us in the studio, Thomas Tisdale as well, Sam John Grande, of course, on radio production, and Bobby C., who was just in talking about the All-Star game. He's back behind the glass as well. Moving on to the New York Yankees and the current state of New York baseball in general. We'll probably talk about the Mets a little bit towards the back end, even though the story with them at this point is kind of just sell at the deadline. Definitely more to talk about when it comes to the Yankees. We also have a pair of Yankee tickets that we are ready to give away to the first caller who can tell us the answer to our ticket question. The number first is 718-817-2750, 718-817-2750. If you are listening or watching on YouTube, you can call in live now. If it's on 90.7 FM later on tonight, I'm sorry, there's probably nobody in the studio, but you might have a chance next week if we have some more tickets. These tickets are for Monday against the Pirates. If you call in, you can win them if you can name the 3 other Yankees in history who have won All-Star Game MVP aside from Cody Bellinger. There's 4 total. Bellinger won it this year. Can you name the other 3? If you can successfully, you will win those 2 tickets. T-shirt night at the stadium against the Pirates should be a fun one. But let's get into the Yankees and this first series of the second half against the 2-time defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Certainly a tall task for the Yankees coming out of the All-Star break. I would say a good litmus test for them just to see kind of where the team is at, even though no Judge, no Stanton, also no Fried, no Rodon right now. But still, you kind of get a gauge of where everybody else is at against top competition. Pretty much the best you can find in Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah, I mean, they had a few good games to sort of go into the All-Star break, but
a little 4-game winning streak fired off, but they did sweep the Nationals.
Yeah, and it's you've got to figure out whether that's like legit or not, or whether that's just the Nationals being, the Nationals.
No, the pitching being terrible. Yeah,
because like they can't close a game.
Yes,
yeah, exactly. Like they've got the most blown saves in the MLB, and there's no greater test than facing the Dodgers. And you were at the game yesterday, Tucker, and I mean, more of what we saw for most of June and July, just the run support really not being there. And
we talked about this last week too, on this show. When we talked about the Yankees, we talked about the offense kind of sort of being there and then not being there for a long time and then showing up for like a one-off game. And
they
then
have their moments.
Exactly. They have their moments. They're just not very often. Last night was another one of those where they did not show up. 2-1 the final. The Dodgers win. The Yankees took the lead in the 4th inning on a Jason Dominguez double-turned triple due to an error in center field. Bobble allowed him to move to third, and on the very next at-bat for Jazz Chisholm, a passed ball, I think on the first pitch of the at-bat, goes to the backstop. Jason Dominguez takes the plate. Yankees lead 1-0. That was it. That was effectively it. The Yankees had 6 hits, but none of them were very consequential until you get down to the 8th inning where there was an interesting moment there, but the turning point in the game happened before then. It was the 7th when, to start the inning, Garrett Cole, who had been cruising, he retired 10 straight from the end of the 3rd inning through the 6th inning. He walks Mookie Betts. And so now it's kind of like, all right, Betts walks, that's a righty-righty matchup for Cole. Not what you were looking for there, but Betts is a good hitter, so you're not that annoyed with Cole working around him. Aaron Boone comes out to the mound. I was like, at first I thought it might be Matt Blake, but then I looked up at the monitor above my head, and the Yankee broadcast was showing Aaron Boone walking out there, and I was like, okay, so that's definitely Aaron Boone. And then I looked to the bullpen, and the door's not open, and it never opened. Didn't even start to swing open. And post-game, Aaron Boone said that his intention was to just kind of get a feel of the situation, read Garrett Cole's body language a little bit, read how he is reacting to having walked Mookie Betts with Max Muncy coming to the dish. And there were two lefties coming up. It was Muncy and then Kyle Tucker right after him. So bad matchups for a right-handed pitcher. Boone goes out there, and I don't think he had any intention of taking Garrett Cole out of that game. I really don't. Because otherwise, if he was going out there to read the situation and see if he needed to make a move, the door would have been open. The bullpen door would have been at least partially open, because that guy would have been on call to maybe fully open it or maybe just close it. Instead, they didn't even call the bullpen, at least as far as I could tell. So it was really just to have a conversation with Cole and try to calm him down. Something that's been done in the past. It's not unprecedented for Garrett Cole, but it came back to bite him this time. Max Muncy hit a nuke to right field. He demolished this baseball. Mm-hmm. And from that point on, the Dodger fans just took over the stadium. And you're going as a fan later tonight. I hope you can rally your section maybe to try and fight back against these invaders, because
I'll try and get us in the 400s.
The Dodger fans were so loud. It was really bad. Take Me Out to the Ball Game actually got tarnished during this game. When they were saying, you know how during Take Me Out to the Ball Game, when they get down to root for the Yankees and everyone says Yankees, I swear it sounded like the whole stadium said Dodgers.
Wow, Max Langer would be happy. Let me tell
I'm
you that.
sure. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's somewhere right now, just kicking his feet and giggling a little bit.
Well, I don't know. He's up at 9:40 in the morning listening.
Oh,
but
yeah. Yeah, that's a tough way to lose a game, but kind of like you saw it coming. Once that ball leaves the yard, the offense wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
But you get to that 8th inning, and I don't know how you felt about it, but sending Grisham in that situation, I don't know if you can do that.
No, I mean, it's a questionable call. He doesn't have the greatest speed. It looked like he was jogging his way around at that point.
He definitely wasn't 100% off first. When Rice first hit it, and I think it's because he maybe thought it was leaving the yard.
And who was up after? Was it Goldschmidt?
Yes.
And it was a lefty on the mound, I believe, right?
At the time, it was Vesia.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was a left-hander.
So, I mean, I feel like at that point you trust Paul Goldschmidt, but I could see, the aggressiveness coming into the mind because, again, that one run, it really wasn't like it was a home run or anything or a nice double that scored a guy. It was kind of just like a mistake from the Dodgers, although Dominguez obviously got the double and got to third, but he got to third and home.
It was good. In essence, it was good base running by Dominguez where he kind of created the run on his own, but again, like you were saying, it was a one-man created run. Yes. The team is not, creating runs with each other.
Yeah. So I could see, the point to be aggressive there, but, it's just gets to the point when you're having Trent Grisham just kind of jogging his way around. There's no point in sending him. This Dodgers team is good defensively, and Mookie Betts makes a great play. Andy Pages makes a great relay throw in. And
we say, Betts made a freak play.
Yes.
The Dodgers are a good defensive team, but Mookie Betts is a superstar defender. I have no idea how he managed to pick up shortstop as fast as he did, and then also become an elite caliber shortstop in very little time. That throw was unreal. Pages sailed the cutoff man. Betts is kind of backpedaling from second base while Grisham is rounding third. Betts makes the catch at the shortstop position. So this ball went from right center, took the long way past second base to shortstop, and then came to the plate, and they still gunned Grisham because Betts caught it and spun and made a jump throw while off balance. that one-hopped to the plate. I have not seen many throws like that in my life. Certainly not from the Yankees in the past 5 years. Like, I haven't seen a ball move that accurately from shortstop in Yankee Stadium in some time. It's been some time.
It's been a while.
It's crazy because like I was just having this conversation yesterday with Colin Loughran, a WFUV alum who was covering the game last night. We were sitting next to each other in the press box, and I was talking to him. I was like, it is really almost embarrassing to have that the juxtaposition of Mookie Betts, who is a by-trade outfielder converted to shortstop, make that kind of a play at shortstop, while the Yankees, like Jose Caballero, is effectively a bandage. He's a bandage on the wound that is Anthony Volpe. And Volpe, a by-trade shortstop, cannot he struggles to make the routine plays. Meanwhile, an outfielder playing shortstop
makes the
gunned Grisham at the plate with the most insane relay throw that I've seen in a while. That's ridiculous. But that's baseball, Susan. But yeah, that 8th inning decision was really tough. Rice put a charge into that one, and I thought it was going to leave the yard off the bottom of the wall. Pages, who made the error that allowed Dominguez to go to third, was the first half of that throw, like you mentioned, and then Betts guns him at the plate. There was one out in the inning, so it was a one out, runner on first. Ben Rice hits a double. I like being aggressive, but you're down one. It's the difference between a runner on second, one out, it's the difference between runner on second, 2 outs, and you're down 2-1, or runners on second and third with 1 out and you're down 2-1. Like, that seems obvious. You hold Grisham, and with Goldschmidt against a lefty, he's going to get a ball in the air. Like, all you need is a sac fly at that point. Instead, now you're banking on a base hit to score Rice from second. So, and post-game, Boone said he would have been more conservative if they had no outs with the part of the lineup they were at. Why? If they're, like, no outs, 1 out, it still would have been a better situation for you to scratch the tying run across. Like, you're not trying to come back from down 3. This is a 1-run game. And we're acting like we needed to keep the line moving. Like, all they needed was to just scratch 1 across, and you would have at least given yourself a chance to go to extras or a chance to put a little bit more pressure on the Dodgers. Instead, the 9th inning was pedestrian. They brought on Tanner Scott, and he went right through the middle bottom of the order. Dominguez, Chisholm, Caballero. 1, 2, 3, done for the night. Like, it was just kind of like you were saying, Thomas. It was very much like the rest of like all of June and that first half of July. Yeah. It just felt like the offense was checked out. The pitching was there. Like Garrett Cole, another very solid start with one mistake that you probably can't even attribute to him. And to Boone's credit, he took accountability for it post-game. Like he said, in hindsight, I probably should have taken him out of the game, so that's on me.
Yeah.
But at the time, he felt differently. Because, like, Garrett Cole had been pitching well. He was on rest from the All-Star break. And just, like, at that point in the game, I remember one of the media members asked him about the bullpen and asked him, like, why did, like, you know how rested your bullpen is, you know how good it is, why not go to them earlier? And I think he just said it was a difficult decision based on the way that Cole was working. And I can't even blame him.
Yeah.
Because up to that point, up to the walk of Betts, he had retired 10 straight. So like you can't even be like super mad about it. I think Yankee fans would be justified in being mad if Aaron Boone had like deflected accountability for it. But I think it shows a lot that he did actually take credit for the fact that he probably should have taken Cole out of the game at that point.
Boone accountability in 2026.
Boone accountability. I mean, it is a good sign. We were talking about it a little bit before the show, or before I got on the show, rather. Yeah, it's like it's a big step. Not that he hasn't taken accountability before, But this was a tough loss that he owned.
It's good to see it happen in a big game like this.
Exactly, yes. And not like, oh, they got a great team over there, it just didn't fall right for us. It was like, no, like they took responsibility for a loss that probably could have gone differently. But, I mean, my thought after the game last night was that this is the best team in baseball right now. This is the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Yankees are missing several big pieces, and they were in that game. They got a great start from Cole. They'll continue to get good starts from the rest of their rotation. It's going to be Weathers tonight against Emmett Sheehan. It was raining earlier today, or when I came to the studio, but I think it may subside by 8 p.m. We got plenty of time before then.
Yeah.
Weathers has been a good pitcher all year. He just hasn't gotten the run support. And so, like, if it's a repeat of last night, I doubt the Yankees win this game. But if the offense can kind of find something against Sheehan, Weathers should give them a good chance to win this game. They have 2 more opportunities to go after this Dodger team and maybe win this series. You can't dwell on how that first game went because it was just... It was nothing. There was nothing there. There was no energy. The Dodger fans took over. Like that was a big part of my my video recap last night. Was like kind of a call to action. I thought Yankee fans got thoroughly embarrassed by Dodger fans in their own building last night.
From Yankees fans.
Extremely rare to see. Like I was shocked that and yeah, during the World Series they did the same thing, but it's the World Series. Yeah. I get it. Like it's a playoff game. The people are going to travel for that. I was shocked that a mid-July game in New York, at Yankee Stadium, was full of like half Dodger fans, if not more than half.
Yeah.
So, and the only other big thing out of last night was that the Yankees held Ohtani hitless, which was huge. He had no impact on this game. Freddie Freeman was not able to impact this game either. I think they were both completely over. So if they can continue to do that, make the rest of that lineup beat you. They only put up 2 runs last night. That's like something to hang your hat on.
It might stay the same. I mean, 2 lefty bats going against the lefty pitcher, Ryan Weathers, so you hope that they continue that same level of success today. But I don't know, Weathers scares me a little bit just because he's had some really bad starts. He's also had some really good starts, and this is a Dodgers team that you can't really make mistakes against. So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
And we know from history that
the Saturdays don't play out good.
Well, we also know that Freddie Freeman,
he finds
we could say, enjoys left-handed pitching.
Yes. Yeah. It's a rough one.
For those of you listening, that is a reference to something that happened, but I will not be describing what it was because that will cause me to just spiral into a deep depression.
Let's just say 41's a better number than 65.
Yes, we can say that. But anyway, before we get to the final hour of the show, I do want to touch on the New York Mets a little bit. It's always it's worth talking about. There are a lot of Mets fans in this city. We got to give them the coverage that they deserve. Unfortunately, that coverage deserved is not that much because this Mets team has just been incredibly underwhelming. Juan Soto, the only All-Star. He did have one of the hits for the National League, which were very few, so kudos to him for that.
Yeah.
Injuries across the board, underperformance across the board, fans not showing up to games. Like, it is wild to me that the Mets had like an 80% chance to make the playoffs at the start of the season, and I'm pretty sure it's down to last week it was down to 2, right?
Yeah,
I think that's what we said.
I can't imagine it's gotten higher.
I'm sure it's not gotten any higher, but I mean they beat the Phillies in a weird wildfire smoke game at the bank on Thursday, and they'll be playing Game 2 today at 3:05 p.m., which is before when this was recorded. They won that first game against the Phillies. I think there may have been a bit of an all-star hangover for Philadelphia. I doubt that the Mets will be able to come up with another win in this series. But, I mean, who knows? Like, you take a quick little series after the All-Star break against the Phillies, it could sort of it could springboard you into the rest of the year. But they're 16 games out of first in the East. It might be safe to say, I would say that they're out of the division.
Yeah.
In terms of the wild card, the Mets are 11 games out of a spot and second to last in the National League. I still don't think that's entirely impossible. The Marlins and the Cardinals are currently tied for the last wild card position, and I'm not super impressed by any of the teams on the list above the Mets. It really does feel like they're a 2-week stretch of good baseball away from being back in the discussion. And I'm not normally one to try and drag the Mets back into the playoff picture. Trust me. As a Yankee fan, I love it when the Mets melt down, but at the same time, I also got to feel for these fans a little bit. They have been given expectation after expectation, high expectations at that, season after season of, bringing in all this talent with the second highest payroll in baseball and expecting a winning performance and just repeatedly getting punched in the gut by this team. It's getting sad to watch at this point. Working with and around Mets fans at the station, it's hard to see them go through this with their baseball team. It really is. Because I would rather their baseball team bring them like a semblance of joy, but it doesn't. The Mets don't seem to be doing that right now.
I mean, the reality is that a team's got to suck. A team's got to lose.
Somebody has to be one of the worst teams in the league.
And sure, it sucks that the Mets are the ones that are losing because our hearts go out to the Mets fans at the station. But I mean, the reality is that they just look really pitiful, and they're out here celebrating free agency wins. Getting Juan Soto, getting Freddie Peralta. I know they got him through trade. Getting Clay Holmes. They've made a bunch of big money moves without the foundation and without the culture necessary to go out there and win, and then just the on the field product is just lackluster at best. And like you said, maybe they're 2 weeks away from a good 2-week stretch away from being right back in the mix. And we've been saying that for the past 2 years with the Mets, and they've just never found a way to do that. And they've gone 2 weeks where they haven't won a game, and I think that's just where this ball club is at right now. They just can't win games. We talk about teams that were really struggling that had high expectations, like the Red Sox and the Mets. And I think the Red Sox have found they're on 11-game winning streak right now, and they're back in the wild card. And so maybe that's a sliver of hope for this Mets team, is that a team in our similar position has gone out and done it. But the reality is that the trade deadline's 2 weeks away. You've got to make a decision. You can't just keep waiting and waiting for the team to go on a run before you decide to sell. You have to sell at some point.
I'm glad you mentioned the trade deadline because the Mets recently announced that pretty much everybody except Juan Soto and their handful of younger guys with a lot of upside, like Carson Benj among them, AJ Ewing, but everybody else is on the table.
Yeah,
at the deadline,
and
so. That includes Francisco Lindor, which that whole saga between Lindor and Soto we thought was kind of under water under the bridge a little bit. But
what was the quote? Juan Soto didn't want to kiss him or something like that? Is that
I don't know. I just think when you have two Type A baseball players who are excellent at what they do, and you try to put them in the same clubhouse and have them be quote unquote equals, there's going to be tension because either one of them is going to think that they should probably be the de facto leader without it being said.
Yeah.
And if they both are trying to be the sort of captain, it's not going to work out. Do you guys think they deal Lindor at this deadline?
I mean, the question for me is how much is Lindor worth at this point? His health is pretty fragile. He's got a massive contract. I just don't see any teams where it's like, oh, they're a Lindor away.
This isn't Cleveland Lindor anymore.
Yeah,
this isn't the Lindor that the Mets went after.
Yeah, he's
it's been some time.
Let alone the Lindor they had during the postseason run where he was at least a little bit better. This is just a completely different Francisco Lindor. I just don't think he has the same value as he used to. I don't imagine they get anything big in return, but just to try and switch up this team, just try and get something for him. They have to switch something because the plan that they went into this year, they got all these different players and they try and group them all together. It just has not worked for them. That something again has to switch, and at this point, they just got to try and experience throughout this second half of the season.
I think a good thing for them is that since they have Soto locked up long term, they can focus a little bit more long term and on the future. Like, I think having Lindor right now is a win now move. Clearly, they're not winning now. And so these older guys, Lindor's on the wrong side of 30. Like, these older guys have to get moved at some point. Soto, you would say he's in his peak right now, but you'd think his peak is going to last a good, 6 to 8 years. So they have plenty of time to figure something out because what they're doing right now just is not working. And I think you've got to switch something up. You can't just keep running it back season after season and expecting, different results.
Yeah, Lindor, 32 years old. He's contracted through the 2031 season, making $34 million a year. So, yeah, that's a pretty big contract. And, for a team with the second highest payroll in the league, could probably benefit from sort of losing that payroll. But at the same time, Lindor's got a full veto clause in his contract to trade. So wherever the Mets try to trade him, they're going to have to ask Lindor if it's okay first. So it'll be interesting to see. The trade deadline is August 3rd at 6 p.m. We'll see what the Mets do. The Yankees have probably a few problems to address, but I think they're also waiting on too many guys to come back from injury to really to make a true assessment of where they need to improve outside of the catching position. But we talked about that last week. Hunter Goodman, Ryan Jeffers, they're like the leads, but I'm still not moved by most of the catchers who are purported to be available right now. I feel like the Yankees are kind of hamstrung. There's not much they can do at the deadline. On the other side of this break, though, we are going to be switching gears and talking the Open Championship. Get a little golf on one time. Here we go. But, yeah, don't go anywhere. We'll be talking the Open on the other side of this break on 90.7 FM WFUV.
It's WFUV New York, member-supported public media from Fordham University. On air, online, and always commercial-free.
Welcome back to One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. Tucker Austin, Anthony Smith, Thomas Tisdale with you as we move into the third and final hour of the show. It's felt like an abridged show for me, but that was because I showed up a hair late. It was a late night last night. We've already explained this. The Open Championship. We're talking golf today on One on One. I am so excited. We almost never wind up with golf on this show. But yeah, I'm glad that we have three guys in the studio today who are, willing and able to talk the Open. I don't know if you guys have gotten out and played it all yet this year. I hadn't played in over a year before I got on for a round on July 3rd, day before the 4th. And that was a awesome experience.
Last time I played was May. Unfortunately, I don't have my clubs up here. But I've certainly been missing it.
That's what it is. How'd you shoot in May? Do you remember?
I think I broke 90. I think I shot like an 88 or something, which is
nice.
Which is pretty good. Like, obviously I take that. The course I play at is a little. I mean, it's a little rough. But
well, I mean, then you should probably give yourself a little bit more credit for breaking 90 if you're like working through like tough conditions.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Just say it's no Royal Birkdale. It's like $40, and it's seen better days.
Yeah,
but it's a test for the toughest golfers out there.
Yeah. Tell you what, Royal Birkdale though looks unbelievable for this tournament this year. That is the host location of the Open in 2026. As it stands now, the third round is live. As of the recording of this, if you're listening live on YouTube, then obviously we're live. But if from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. on 90.7 FM, third round's already over. And you'll be going to the fourth round the next day. But Ryan Fox, currently the leader at 8 under, the sole leader. He's 8 under today.
Yeah. Yep.
He's 8 under for the tournament, and all of that movement has happened today. That is unbelievable to me. But there he is. It's a 3-way tie for second right now between Lucas Herbert, Jackson Suber, and Sam Burns. Shout out to Sam Burns being up there. I mean, for me, he's the most recognizable name in the top 4. Tommy Fleetwood, though, right in the mix. He's 2 under today through 9. It's 6 under overall. You had a nice 69 he shot in round 1 to kind of put him up there. Then there's a huge pocket of Americans from 6 under to 4 under. Cam Young is in there. Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele. So a lot of big names from the PGA up near the top here. I first want to get into where do you guys think we land at the end of today? Because the first couple of rounds, we saw some pretty significantly low scores. Cameron Young actually 67 in rounds 1 and 2, playing some of the best golf in the field, if not the best golf in the field. He hasn't teed off yet in round 3, so it could be that, or I think he's actually through 4. Either way, he is he's definitely in position to make some moves today, maybe shoot back up to the top of the leaderboard. Scotty Scheffler always lurking, of course, in the top 10. Another guy I'm a big fan of, Ludwig Oberg, is tied for 10th right now, and he's 1 under today through 11, sitting at 4 under overall. When you guys look at this leaderboard right now, who jumps out to you? Who do you think can make a big move today? Who might put themselves in position to go and win this thing tomorrow? Thomas, why don't we start with you here?
I mean, it's tough because I think what we've seen so far this weekend is that pretty much any player can go out there and shoot 8 under. Herbert, like you mentioned, the guy in the lead right now, he shot 8 under yesterday, just seemingly out of nowhere. But we haven't seen guys put together those types of rounds, like multiple of them. We haven't seen multiple of them, and I think that's why we haven't seen, a player at 12 under or something like that. I mean, most of these guys are at least halfway through the round up to this point, and we haven't seen a ton of moves. I mean, you'd think Scheffler at some point starts to figure it out. He's 1 under through today. He's got a couple holes left to make something happen. DeChambeau seems a little bit rattled after getting a 2-stroke penalty that we can get into at some point today. He seems like he's not really he doesn't really seem to have the mental aspect to climb back into this one. I mean, I'm just looking at our Fordham Prep guy, Cam Young. I think he's someone that has played well enough the first 2 rounds that he's in a strong enough position that if he goes really low, either today or tomorrow, that, he's going to maybe run away with this one. So I'm going to say Cam Young. He just shot a bogey, so that's not aged particularly well.
Wow.
I've really jinxed him live.
Instant impact take.
But he's still 3 back. He's got what is that? 6 holes left to make something happen. Yeah, if he can go 2 under the rest of the way, I think he's in a really good position. I think the guy I'm just looking at is whether Herbert had a really strong round yesterday. Can he go even lower today? Or not go lower, but can he string together a couple birdies like we saw yesterday?
Yeah, and the scores. From just like a quick glance, they seem to be ranging generally from like among players who are shooting well from like 66 to 71. That's like around the range to still be playing here in the weekend now and having not missed the cut. Yes. But what an outlier. I'm almost gawking at Ryan Fox's 3rd round. 62?
Yeah, actually unreal. You look at the wind and just, obviously it's link style golf, just how firm the course is. It's incredible to see a guy go that low when, for the most part, we've seen guys get punished for missing the fairways, for missing the greens. Obviously, people have gone low, and it's just a matter of, if you're on it, then you are absolutely on it, and you can shoot really low at this course.
Yeah. And what do you think when you're looking at this board? Who sticks out? Who do you think might make a run here? Either today or set themselves up today to make a run tomorrow.
Well, it's kind of hard to not say Ryan Fox after the 62. Maybe carry that momentum into round 4, and you hope for him that carries it into the final day. But it's kind of hard to rule out Scotty Scheffler. Still just a couple holes.
It's always hard to rule out Scotty Scheffler.
It's foolish to do so. Thomas, you make a good point with the mental aspect for Bryson. He still has a couple holes left, but he's shooting even today, so he's not really going through like these other guys like Fox. Cameron Young definitely is interesting too. I think if he can sneak towards the top of the leaderboard, I think he may have a chance tomorrow. But I think it's still anybody's tournament.
Yeah, and
there's so many guys that got the same score, tied for the same score, and there's still a full day of golf, and it seems like everybody's right now playing at some of their best game throughout this year. So,
and looking a little bit closer, Lucas Herbert and Sam Burns actually both put themselves in the positions that they are in with 62s in round 2. So, it seems like those 3 guys, Herbert, Fox, and Burns, have figured something out that the rest of the field isn't quite getting their hands on. It's just so ridiculous. Ryan Fox, the little the graphic on the left side of the score, it says he's moved up 50 positions.
That's crazy. Absurd.
It's like almost the entirety of the field in one day. So a huge move for him. I love the momentum take there, because if you have a round like that on the weekend, like you make the cut and then you put in a round like that, you're gonna be flying on Sunday.
And golf is such a mental game.
Yes,
you're shooting a 62 on a Saturday, and things just gotta be going your way, and really it feels like all the emotions kind of loosen out going into that Sunday. Obviously, I have no experience because I'm terrible at golf. Literally when I played 9 the other day, I
actually loosened up by 17.
I had an eagle putt as I drove the green. I ended up a birdie. Then I got a par the next hole, and you figure I'm a pretty good golfer. You want to tell me how one of the next holes on a par 3 I shoot an 8?
Yeah, there you go.
It's just
it's that kind of game. Sometimes it just doesn't work out for you.
So obviously I'm not a professional golfer, but you gotta imagine shooting a 62, climbing all the way to the top of the leaderboard. you want to see kind of Ryan Fox pull this like completely underdog story coming out of nowhere to win the Open, but we'll see what happens.
So, I mean, as we've been talking, the scoreboard's been moving around. Lucas Herbert has taken the lead by a stroke. Ryan Fox is done. He's done for today because like he was one of the first tee times this morning. So he might start to like tumble just a little bit down the order. But he did have the lead for the majority of today. Another name I want to look at really quickly before we maybe look at the cuts is Bryson DeChambeau, where I saw this clip on social media of a guy. The guy was like recording his TV because he thinks Bryson tried to like improve his lie.
Yeah,
a little bit.
He got stroked for it.
Yeah, and he did. And you know, there was some discourse about that. I saw Bryson DeChambeau wasn't exactly happy with the decision that he wound up getting stroked for that, but he still made the cut. And his approach to that situation was to kind of just wipe it clean and go to the weekend and just go play because you made the weekend, so it doesn't matter now. Like, just go play. 67 in round 1, 68 in round 2, so he sits at 5 under right now. He's through 12 today and even, so not making as big of a splash as he was hoping. But I'm sorry, Sam. Sam sent a World Cup related photo to our group chat to make us all laugh. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it.
He's trying to rattle us right now.
He is. He really is.
It's a good show today.
Yeah. So really quickly, I want to look at the cuts. Try and pick out maybe a name or two for each person who you're a little bit surprised that they did wind up missing the cut. When I look at, I'm looking at like Nikolai Højgaard. He shot 72 and then 70, which are like not bad scores, but he still wound up missing the cut. Cameron Smith out as well. Wyndham Clark by a lot. That's really surprising to me. But yeah, I just took 3 names away. I'll let you guys pick a couple other ones that kind of stand out to you. Also, but I gotta call out my guy, Victor Hovland. He's like one of my favorite guys on the tour. Really rough. It's 70 in round 1, 74 in round 2.
Oh, I'll one-up you there with Jordan Spieth going 77 in round 2, 73 in round 1. I did look at Smith as well. It was one of the first names I saw, but then I looked towards the bottom and I saw Spieth, and there's a very glaring 77 there. And it feels like it's kind of rare to see that number so far throughout this weekend because everybody seems to be with a really good score. Even Rory McIlroy, he's towards the bottom of the list, but he's still shooting 2 under on the tournament. And most tournaments, I feel like that's pretty good. But obviously, in this tournament, it's been a little bit different.
Yeah, for me, the guy is like Matt Fitzpatrick, who's been is someone calling? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get there in a moment.
But for me, it's Matt Fitzpatrick missing the cut for me. Like, he grew up playing this style of golf. He's been one of the best players, one of the best golfers, on the tour, at least this season. He's got experience playing it, and he just really did not have that. He really didn't have it. He was +4, so not the worst overall score, but 2 back of the cut, and it's just like he just didn't have a lot of birdies, and on the course, especially in the first 2 days, and as we saw with Fox today, there's a lot of birdies to be had on the course, and you're inevitably going to have some bad holes. Find the fescue. Sometimes your lie's not where it needs to be, but you've got a birdie at some point, and I think the guys that missed the cut, I think that's where it is. It wasn't necessarily the mistakes. It's just they just didn't have enough good shots, or it didn't have enough great shots to really really make an impact this weekend.
Yeah, and like a couple of other guys, Andrew Novak, Harris English, both shot sub 70, but still missed the cut. That's just kind of a stinger. Like at that point, you kind of did almost all you could do to try and get back into it, but just couldn't. But you know what? That'll wrap up our Open Championship discussion. As it stands, as of this recording, Lucas Herbert in the lead by a stroke from Ryan Fox, Sam Burns, Siwoo Kim, and Jackson Suber. Siwoo Kim just jumped into the top 3 as well.
Look at him.
7
Let
under.
him cook. Let him cook.
But yeah, on the other side of this break, we are going to be talking all things LeBron as he has completely taken over the NBA free agency scene. But we also have a call from one of our correspondents at Fanatics Fest. You'll find out who that is on the other side of this break on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports.
Hey, Yankees fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Monday, July 20th, when the Yankees host the Pittsburgh Pirates, and be ready to receive a traditional Yankees giveaway. It's Yankees T-shirt night, presented by Sato. The first 15,000 guests will receive a Yankees T-shirt. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Again, don't miss the Yankees and Pirates for Yankees T-shirt night presented by Sato on Monday, July 20th. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
Hey sports fans, it's Bobby C. I'm the sports director here at WFUV. From live broadcasts of Fordham Athletics to coverage of all the professional sports teams in the NYC, we've got everything a sports fan could ask for. Like talking sports? Check out One on One, New York's longest running sports call-in show, as well as our diverse collection of podcasts. If you're a Fordham student interested in joining our program, feel free to shoot me an email, bobbyc@wfuv.org. And as always, thank you to all of our listeners who support us every week. 90.7 FM is the home of WFUV Sports.
Yeah, Thomas, you're right. We were talking about the whole Brooks Koepka and like wanting to have Patrick Cantlay gain strokes because he takes too long. But we are done with the golf discussion. And we do, Sam, if I'm not mistaken, still have Travis Hayden on the line from Fanatics Fest. Travis, thank you for making the graphics, and what's up over there?
Yeah, Anthony, nothing much. Fanatics Fest right now is electric. I mean, today they're celebrating the Knicks championship. The line was out the door just to even get into the theater for that. Just hours upon hours upon hours. All the athletes are around. Whenever you just walk around, you run into random people like Russell Wilson or Trey Young. It's one of the most amazing experiences I think I've ever seen in my life. All the panels are great. Today I was able to go to the John Cena Q&A press conference today. Got to talk to the Never Seen 17. Amazing time. The other day, Sam got to go to the FIFA World Cup press conference and got to see guys like Messi and all these other people. I'm looking forward to maybe seeing the Travis Scott event later today, too. Who knows? But, yeah, Fanatics Fest has been a really good time so far. And ask away about anything about it, guys.
Yeah, what would you say your favorite part of the experience has been so far? Because Sam kind of gave us that in the intro segment. He said his favorite part was the panels and getting to kind of talk to some of the best athletes in the world face to face. But what's been your favorite part of the experience so far?
My favorite part of the experience is kind of just like randomly running into people. Everybody knows me. I love that WWE entrance booth, and every 15 minutes is just like who's coming out next to whatever theme song. Sometimes it's the actual wrestlers you'll see with Cody Rhodes sometimes, but at another point you'll have Big Papi coming out to Stone Cold Steve Austin's music. It's always a fun time whenever that's happening. Yeah, man. So I gotta give it to that. Or I would say walking around yesterday, I was about to tell this guy he had a nice Dominic Mysterio cosplay on, and it turns out it was actually Dominic Mysterio. So I just didn't say it and stayed silent. So that's what the experience is like for me. And obviously going into the media credentials room and seeing a bunch of the guys from the UFC media pressers again was great. It's kind of just like a who's here right now, and it's like something else.
Now, Travis, you mentioned a lot of athletes around there. You mentioned one that caught my attention, Trey Young in the Big Apple. Any reactions over there from Trey Young?
Oh, I mean, you know exactly what the chants were broken out into right away. Him and AJ were walking out together after doing their entrance, and they were going back. So that was they're participating in the Fanatics games today, which is, again, that's one of the fun parts about this event, too. seeing all the athletes go around doing like different things. So I'm trying to see who's better. All for $1 million. Like, that's something that's fun. But like, so that's what Trae Young is doing today. But obviously not one of the most popular athletes here at New York City.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure the Knicks fans showed Trae Young all the love that they still have for him.
He was watching his highlights,
Oh,
actually,
they
today.
did. Oh, it was he knew it exactly if he was walking through. And then the other thing that caught my eye, like that has catched my eye, is that who the most popular athlete here at Fanatics Fest might actually be today. Might shock you. Because everybody's assuming it is Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks. And, of course, so with the giant championship parade, 53 years, and how this basketball means to this city. But one man above the rest got a louder reaction than I think I've ever heard. I heard it the last 3 days here, and that was Roman Reigns. And today seems to be very much, I'm starting to realize, I always thought that Roman Reigns was my little niche thing. Like, he was like niche. I thought he was niche. But it's fine coming here today, hearing that reaction, having his panel with Jalen Brunson being to the point where he's saying that his personal handshakes before games are all acknowledging Roman Reigns before every game they play in the NBA. It's you're starting to see the shift that Roman Reigns might be the most popular athlete here, period.
That's unreal.
And it's the fact that it's the Knicks. I would say it's obviously all the Knicks, but now you have the Knicks players fanning out because Roman Reigns is here, and because Roman Reigns is presenting them tonight at Madison Square Garden, a Saturday night's main event with a celebration.
Oh, that's
Today
so awesome.
seems to be Roman Reigns' day.
I've got one last question for you, Travis.
Yeah, go ahead.
Obviously, you're
Go
there
ahead,
as a journalist first and foremost, but was there a particular moment that you were like, you set aside the journalist part and you're just like, I'm the biggest fan of this right now. Like, did you have like a fangirl moment, so to speak?
Yeah, I did. I may or may not have taken a photo with Kyle Borhalio.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I might have gotten the photo. I did a little salute to Cody Rhodes as he did his interview with Tom Brady, and that was cool. But I don't know. I feel like if I run into Roman Reigns today, I feel like that's the only way I'll really break like the journalistic integrity. Is if I run into Roman Reigns. It might be it. And that, again, I've been here for 3 days. When I Am Greatness hit the speakers inside, it was the loudest reaction I've ever heard. I was like a mile and a half away. You could hear it felt like a mile and a half away. You could hear it from down there, and then you see everybody get up in a corner and start to put their ones in the sky all over the place, just at the entrance of Roman Reigns. So I feel like that's the only guy I'm going to have to like break the journalism for today.
Yeah. Travis, dude.
Because today seems to be his day.
Yeah. Travis, thank you so much, man. It sounds like you're having an absolute blast, and it also sounds like it's exactly as you described. Totally electric at Fanatics Fest right now. Thanks to you and Sam for doing all the great coverage, and dude, have some fun the rest of the day, man.
I love you guys. See you soon. Tuck, Anthony, Sam, rest of the crew. Thomas, thank you guys so much. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Travis. All right. What an experience.
Yeah.
That must be. I mean, I've heard so many weird things about Fanatics Fest and like how just odd it all seems. That's the most enthusiastic review of of Fanatics Fest I've ever heard.
I mean, he truly is a fanatic.
Yeah,
it's in
I
the
would
name.
say so. This is for him.
It is.
And I'm glad he's there because he's gotten some good content for us so far. So, yeah, look for Travis Hayden on Twitter for more coverage. Sam also has some on his Twitter as well. Sam John Grande. I think it's Sam GGWFUV if I remember correctly from last week. Let's get to the actual thing we were going to talk about this segment. The LeBron James sweepstakes again. Wow, he has completely taken over the discussion of NBA free agency now. Now that everything else, like the other dust has kind of settled, it now feels like the entire league is waiting on what LeBron does to start making their other moves. And it's not that surprising because a lot of teams have made their pitches to him already, reportedly. The Sixers have Maxey Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid all contacting LeBron right now, trying to get him to come to Philly, which would be a nightmare for everyone on the East Coast. I have a little timeline here of sort of the last few days. Our last one-on-one show was, what was that, July 13th, I believe?
The 11th.
The 11th?
Yeah.
A little bit further back. Yeah, let's do the 7 days. Let's not go 5 days. But yes, on July 12th, Draymond Green admitted that he pitched to LeBron. It was reported a couple of days later that Jaylen Brown was also involved in the Sixers pitch. Other Warriors players started trying to pitch him starting July 13th. Then on the 14th, that's when it really got going. Then on the 15th, that's 3 days ago, a report from Mark Spears on NBA Today. He said that on the interior, the Warriors feel as though they're kind of the underdogs or the sleepers to land LeBron, which, I mean, based on our discourse last week, I think pretty much agrees with what we were saying, that they're kind of like the dark horse pick to go get LeBron. And if they feel that way internally, maybe they're going about it the right way. We also had LeBron at Fanatics Fest, where he decided to tell everyone that he had not made a decision yet. It is so funny to me watching headlines say, like, LeBron does not make decision at event. It's like, all right.
It's a big-time troll, though.
Yeah, no, it is. But he did say he is not, of course he's not coming back to the Lakers, but he said he's not ready to go public yet with a decision, but he also kind of dropped hints that it wasn't going to take very long from here. Tyrese Halliburton also said that he made a brief pitch to LeBron, which met a equally brief response from LeBron that ended that discussion quickly. And then 2 days ago, July 16th, Pat Riley from the Miami Heat, the president of the Miami Heat, I should say, he had a news conference to welcome Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Heat. And last week we talked about how insane it would be for LeBron to go back to South Beach with Giannis and with Bam. And Pat Riley said, quote, "We landed the plane. Now there's another one we have to land." End quote.
Wow, that's tough.
Very cryptic, at the same time, seemingly obvious. And for a guy in Pat Riley, who I think Heat fans would say has been asleep at the wheel when it comes to free agency or trades the last 5 years or so, just landed Giannis Antetokounmpo, who before LeBron said he wasn't going to be a Laker anymore, and maybe still is the biggest fish of the offseason. Not something that the Heat were accustomed to doing, but now that they have Giannis, it seems like maybe a sleeping beast has awoken in Pat Riley. Does LeBron land in Miami? Where does he land? Where do we think he lands? I'm definitely leaning Miami now.
Imagine how many times before a game LeBron's going to say, "Oh, I know Bam Adebayo is going to score 80 points. He's going to pull off the Kobe meme again every game in the locker room."
Bam did score 83.
He was like, that night, like I just felt something in the air, like Bam was going to score 83
I
points
just knew it.
for Washington.
I told all my Heat
felt it.
teammates. I knew he was going to score 80.
I called D-Wade.
Might as well go for 90.
I called D-Wade and I told him that Bam was going to score 85.
But
oh, man.
In all seriousness,
it would be insane.
The Miami Heat seems like a realistic possibility. I feel like if he's going to go somewhere, it's going to be either there or the Cavs, just like basically as a homecoming, but obviously with the Heat, with the move with the Giannis. And I feel like the Heat need something else because obviously Bam and Giannis are great players. It feels like they need a little bit more. I mean, LeBron's not going to provide you the greatest depth in the world, but you need a little bit more pieces because they gave up so much to give up Giannis.
And this was your point last week, Thomas, that Giannis has had a tough time staying healthy during the regular season. So like LeBron might not want to go into a situation, or a team might not want to bring LeBron into a situation where he might need to play a excessive amount of regular season games because of injuries to other guys. So that certainly becomes an issue in Miami. I still think Miami would be kind of in the lead. I would say, based on Pat Riley's comments 2 days ago, and based on what we said last week about like the reasons why LeBron probably would go back to Miami, but I'm gonna say I think the Sixers have overtaken the Cavs in terms of, like, if we're thinking of this as like a college recruiting process.
Recruiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Guy, over 40 years old.
But yeah, no, the Sixers, I think, like, if you have those three guys between Brown, Maxey, and Embiid all pitching LeBron, first of all, it immediately presents you with a better supporting cast situation than he would have in Miami.
He won't have to play as much.
I'd say a better supporting cast situation than in Cleveland probably as well, because you're talking about, I mean, Jaylen Brown and Tyrese Maxey are your guards, or James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. I'm probably picking Philadelphia. And then you add Embiid to the mix, who I've been an Embiid hater for years. And I think it's with good reason, because he tried to kill Mitchell Robinson on live television. We all saw it.
Yep.
We did. But no, Embiid's been made of glass for like a majority of his career. When he's on, it makes me angry that I remember how good he actually is, but then he usually gets hurt again, and it's like, oh, okay, no, I'm still right.
Yeah.
But now I'm nervous, because if LeBron goes to Philly, he could actually get them over the hump. Maybe. Like, I think LeBron's got plenty left in the tank.
I was a little scared with the Jaylen Brown move, but you have LeBron, you're completely changing the system of that team, and I don't know, they become 10 times more scarier because Jaylen Brown's an elite player, and then LeBron's got the experience. He's still pretty much elite. And you just
he's
going to
be an instant leader on that team that everyone wants to kind of like absorb as much as they can from him. And again, like I don't think it's going to be like half LeBron, or half of the LeBron that everyone has become accustomed to. Like, he still played very solid last year.
Yeah, like
he's just dealing with more physical fatigue.
Yeah, I mean he was probably the best player on the floor in that Rockets series, in a series with Kevin Durant and a lot of young, talented players for the Rockets. I mean, the thing for me, the hesitancy with the Miami pick is that outside of Giannis and Adebayo, like, what else does this team have? And I think that's why I think 76ers are a pretty strong contender. It'd be one thing if they acquired Jaylen Brown and they had to give up a ton for him, but they only gave up Paul George and a couple first-round picks, and their depth for the most part is still there.
Yes.
They've got an absolutely loaded starting five. Is the missing piece LeBron? I mean, maybe, but I think the thing for LeBron is that he wouldn't be asked to be that number one or even the number two scorer on that 76ers team. He'd be, the number 4 option during the playoffs or during the regular season, and then during the playoffs he'd be able to step up and be a facilitator. And I think that's really where LeBron's talent is that he's just an incredible passer. He just sees the floor. Yeah, I mean, he's a floor general in a way that he's not going to go out there and drop 35 for you in the postseason, but he will go out there and he will get a double-double in points and assists. And
yeah.
I think that's
either way, I think at this point it's safe to say that LeBron will be coming back to the Eastern Conference. Yeah. Almost guaranteed. Like, the Warriors, I think, have kind of fallen out of the discussion a little bit, and even within themselves this week, they kind of realized that they were on the outside looking in. I've also seen the Nuggets get thrown around a little bit, but I really don't see it. I mean, if you're leaving the Lakers, where else in the Western Conference do you really want to go?
Bobby,
if you're LeBron.
Bobby said San Antonio, which
come on.
I mean, I don't mind. It's a little bit of a ring.
Wembanyama took a pay cut to get like guys who aren't LeBron. They would use his entire pay cut on LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, that's not.
I don't think the Spurs are going in that direction. I think they're going in a direction that's contained within themselves, and they're building on the culture that they already have.
It would be a good fit, but it's just not the route they're going to go.
You know what the Sixers need? A winning culture. and LeBron can probably bring a winning culture to Philadelphia. So I like Philly 1 right now probably, that's kind of a change. But I think you guys kind of changed my opinion on it when it comes, like, Miami is looking like worse and worse of a landing spot for him, except for the fact that he was already there.
Yeah.
I think it's also interesting, just as like a last point before we move to the final segment. If LeBron does go to Philly, that might change their whole dynamic of the stadium situation, because the 76ers have been looking for the ability to like build a new arena, but they've been trying to pick where to do it. And they've landed on proposals from South Jersey. They've had proposals from Delaware. They've had proposals from like elsewhere outside of Philadelphia. And up to this point, it was kind of looking like they were going to leave the city.
Yeah, I can't imagine they leave the city if LeBron.
If LeBron is there, the city probably moves mountains to keep him in the city. So, I don't know. Could impact things that are larger than basketball. But we'll see. LeBron has kept us waiting this long, and we're going to continue to wait until he makes his decision, and then we'll break it down, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
That'll do it for this segment, though. We're going to move into the final segment of the show. Sam John Grande has a game for us, I believe, right? The Games Master. Back at it again. He had a couple great ones last week. I can't wait to see what this one will be. But we'll be right back with Sam's game on 1-on-1 on 90.7 FM, WFUV Sports. Welcome back to 1-on-1. Wow, that was a chill break.
Yeah, that was nice. I was vibing out.
Tucker Austin, Anthony Smith, Thomas Tisdale with you for the final segment of today's show. We have a game courtesy of Sam John Grande. Sam will be joining us from behind the glass, our radio/video producer today. And Sam, dude, what do you have for us?
So, Tucker, you remember it from last week. We're going to do Hi My Name Is, but with flags again. A little different.
Oh, okay, I got you.
A little different this time. I just pulled up a bunch of random pictures of, they're still World Cup flags, but I'm just going to make the clues off the dome.
Whoa, okay.
This is great.
So,
this is crazy.
You were here last week, so you know what it is. Anthony, this was a game, if you've played Sam's games before, you know he gives hints and then you guess a player at the end.
Yeah.
Instead of players, we're doing World Cup participating nations flags.
Got it.
Where he'll give us 5 hints that kind of decrease in difficulty, and then we have to try and guess which flag it is. Is it the same list from last week, Sam?
Yeah, so it's on the rundown for today.
Oh, word. Okay, so it's here today.
I just
crossed off
from last week.
ones from last week. Okay, awesome.
So we're going to go right into it. For the 5-pointer, we have face.
Ooh.
Argentina.
I'm going to do it where everyone else
Uruguay. Ant?
Do I have to say a different one? Or
yeah.
Traditionally, it's you can't double up on a guess. It's a 50-50 really.
Which is tough.
That's so unfortunate.
Because you actually might be out of flags that have faces on
Yeah,
them.
that's yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's well, no. I think we should let him pick one of the two.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
And we'll give him points.
He definitely went Argentina.
And it is Argentina.
Oh, come on.
Tucker, you got the
Uruguay
short
might
end
just be a
stick with that
sun.
one.
I don't know if there's a face on there.
No, there is.
There is.
is?
There's a face
Okay.
on the sun.
yeah.
And to show I'm not trolling, I do have the flag up with me.
Ah,
just
there it
trying to-
is.
trying
Okay.
to discriminate with that. So it's 5 points right off the cuff. Next, we're going to go with different flag. Diagonal.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
let y'all go first because I went first.
Confidence right there, too.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go with DR Congo.
Okay.
Shoot, that's what I
there's
was
another
gonna go.
diagonal.
There we go.
There might be one more. No, that one doesn't have a
No,
diagonal.
I'm gonna go DR Congo as well.
Okay.
So we do. So I think so. We're going to allow that. You can double up on guesses now.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fair.
That's back-to-back 10 points for Anthony.
Let's
too.
go.
It is DR. I'm not messing with you guys. I have it up right here. I didn't think you guys would get that one immediately.
So we're at 10, 10,
10,
and 0.
10, 0. But
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure the two options were Bosnia and DR
Yeah,
Congo.
I don't think there was another option.
So
Stay Tucker. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
no,
right?
yeah,
True.
yep.
What did you
we'll see
think
where
I
this
was
one
about to
goes.
say?
All right.
He said no at the start of that sentence.
All right.
All right.
Third flag.
Next one. We're going to put in moon. If so, it gets us off the cuff.
With
like-
Tunisia.
Algeria. Oh,
that's so good. That's so good.
Wait.
Oh, so everyone repeat it.
Oh, so you want us to repeat
Yeah,
the
I
guesses
couldn't
again?
hear 'cause it
Sorry, I said Tunisia.
Oh, that's shoot. Shoot, I don't want
It's
to
the
like.
most competitive I've ever seen.
I don't want to
conference
like.
in my life.
I don't want to piggyback off. That.
Turkey.
Now you're
Oh,
out.
that's a good one
now,
as well.
now you're out of options.
Algeria, maybe? I don't know. That's what I was
They
looking
do. I
at.
think they do.
Okay, I'll just go Algeria as well.
All incorrect.
Oh,
What?
okay.
Whoa. Okay, so I'm like we're gonna keep guessing.
It's a tough one. We're gonna go
It's
with
a moon?
sheep.
Oh, okay, wait, yeah, right. I forgot about the second the other hints.
So this is for 4 points now.
a moon and sheep.
Sheep.
Sheep, goat.
Some kind of livestock animal that's
yeah.
not a
I'm
cow.
not looking. I gotta like zoom in on these.
What, the names?
No, the.
You're not
Whoa,
looking. You're not
whoa,
looking at.
whoa, wait.
What's up?
You're not looking at flags, are you?
Oh, is that not allowed?
Whoa.
That's against the rules.
That's
right there,
crazy.
Anthony.
That's
Guys, no
crazy.
one said that in the rules.
You know what? There's,
To be fair, that's true.
Yeah.
I was about
That's
to
a
explain
loophole.
to listeners that like we were doing this blind without looking
Yeah,
at flags and
it's
trying to
off-
do it from
it's
memory.
off
which would've
memory.
been
I feel like I
false.
got a false 10
No,
points
it's
now.
no.
No,
it's-
let's just
we'll
let-
allow it,
We'll
allow
keep
it.
it for now.
I say take away 5.
No,
Mm.
okay. You just want to be back in the game.
Well, who wouldn't?
That's fair. That's fair.
If it ends in a draw, there will be revoked points. But for now,
okay,
we'll keep it 10-10.
fair.
I'm gonna
Wow,
go-
this is weird. Moon, sheep. Oh, okay. You want to go first?
I'll go Curacao.
Okay. Ant.
That's what I was gonna go.
All right, you guys both gonna pick Curacao?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Uzbekistan.
All wrong.
Awesome.
Nice.
We're going for the 3-point. Which I would say, I think I've also picked harder flags, but next one,
Sheep.
lotus flower.
Whoa. Okay.
These are like very specific ones. though.
Yes.
The next clue will be a lot more obvious.
This flag sounds gorgeous. Just can't think of what it is.
Can't remember the beauty.
Yeah. Oh man.
Okay.
This is This is really
Wow.
tough actually.
Okay.
So it's not Uzbekistan, so we already said that. It's not Tunisia or Turkey, so we already said those.
So what was it? Sheep, moon,
Yeah.
what was-
And a
I-
lotus flower now.
What's the
No.
nursery rhyme like? Where is it the sheep jump over the moon? Is that
Is
real?
that?
Is
Oh,
that
don't they
real?
jump over Oh, wait. Do they?
that-
Yeah, yeah. It's like like counting sheep, but usually they're like jumping over a fence. But like you could also mess with the perspective. You're onto something.
Okay, I'm gonna
It
go
definitely
Paraguay.
sounds vaguely
I don't-
familiar.
I don't think that has anything to do with the flag, but I'll go Paraguay.
What's
Yikes!
The one that has the
Like I'm trying to think of one that has a lotus flower on it.
To
Oh,
me,
wait,
it
yeah,
looks like a lotus flower. You can just say flower in general, but when I say lotus flower, you think more like that than like a daisy or something. I don't
Okay,
know.
yeah, I know what you're saying. Haiti?
Anthony, any guesses?
There's no moon, but whatever.
I don't know.
We gotta eliminate some countries here.
Yeah. I'm confused between Australia and New Zealand. The one that has like the dark blue flag and has the whatever it is in the top.
I don't think
virtually have the same flag. I will say that.
I'm gonna say this though. Neither of them have a moon.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing out a guess. I'm eliminating
sheep
nations
for that matter. Fair enough. All right.
New Zealand.
So for 2 points, checkered.
Oh, Croatia.
Is this gonna be yeah, I mean, now I'm nervous it's gonna be like something I didn't notice on the Croatian flag. I don't want to jump on the bandwagon if I don't have to, but it is kind of the only flag that has checkers. Wait, Panama?
Ooh, it's not a bad shout. Not a bad shout.
Anthony, any last guesses? Before
Panama is like, it's not a checkered pattern, but the flag is literally a like 4 quarters checkerboard style.
Do you know sheep? Are there sheep on the Panama flag?
No, but I'm like, there is definitely some kind of a. I think it's just stars.
See, that's the thing is like, I'm sure. I think it's just like some crest that has a sheep on it or something like that. That's got to be what it is.
Yeah, because you remember the Spain one from last week was like the castle, and it's like that little tiny tower in the crest.
You got to think like these flags aren't Picasso's out here. Like they're like,
True.
I mean, they're just like flags.
They're just representative, although some of them are a little more design oriented. What'd you say for this round, Ant? Anything? Anything come to mind?
I think I said Panama, but I don't remember.
Okay, so we'll just both jump on Panama. That's fine. Sam?
Thomas is now all 3 correct. It is Croatia.
Okay, fair.
So I'll explain it a little. Above the checkered part, there is 5 little, I don't even know how to describe it, boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one with a moon, one with a flower, one with a sheep, goat. Like, this was a very niche one, I will say.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I never looked that close.
Neither did I. I only did it when just doing this.
Where's the? Oh, never mind. There's the flower.
Yeah, I would say it was a lotus flower. I don't really know how to describe it, but it was the best one I could think of. I don't.
Just the stars that you.
Panama, I think I don't really know where the moon. I think
Panama is 4 corners, and there's a star. I think in the bottom left and the top right, if I'm not mistaken.
It's the opposite. But
it's the opposite. That's fine.
Yeah. It's all right.
Well,
clearly I saw it flying the other direction.
You're on the other side.
All right.
We'll go for number
flag.
4. This is gonna be a hard one, I think. Flag.
Oh, come on. you gotta be joking.
No, there's a flag on the flag.
United States.
New Zealand.
There's a flag on the flag?
Yeah.
I'm going to go New Zealand.
Well, that's just repetitive.
Wait.
A flag within the flag. This is
wait no.
This is getting interesting.
We've gone meta flag here.
We have.
Let me think about this for 1 second.
I'm gonna go like process of elimination. Just a flag. Just a flag. Just a flag. Just a flag. Just a flag.
What definitely has a flag on there?
I'm gonna. That's probably a bad guess for now. But I might go there later.
Oh.
I'm gonna say Saudi Arabia.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me! I was on the list.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Even though
that is good.
I don't think it's gonna be because like that flag is not like there's no flag within that flag.
Thomas, what'd you say? New Zealand.
I said New Zealand.
Unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, I was looking up the list and I was bad to go Saudi. I'm gonna try and pivot.
No, go with what your heart.
I was like, whether your heart desires.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia.
Your heart was wrong.
Awesome.
Well, this next clue is gonna make you really think it's Saudi Arabia, but it's not. We have weaponry.
Oh, but good. That's like that eliminates Saudi Arabia.
Well, it's already eliminated, but now it's extra not Saudi Arabia.
Because the Saudi flag has like the swords on it, right?
There's a flag on there. Iran.
That's what I was thinking about. I don't remember there being a flag on there.
I don't either.
Maybe if it's like if we're counting the middle stripe as its own flag.
I gotta like
okay, I feel like we're getting really.
Flag real quick.
This is like such a
specific.
meta conversation.
It really is. Yeah.
Not feeling good. Not feeling good about any of these.
The waving flag. The waving flag. That song was great. What a World Cup that was.
That is.
pretty sure. Was that one
I'll
from
go- I'll
Sam?
go
Was that one from
Iraq.
2014?
I'll go
I think it
Iraq.
is.
Yeah.
The Brazil one.
Yeah.
So we have Iran, Iraq, and then Anthony. Do you want to hop on either, or?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll just shoot out a random guess and say Ghana, but no, it's not Haiti. I don't know.
So we have Iran, Iraq, Haiti.
Uh-huh.
Anthony from way downtown. It is Haiti. So
Wow.
if you want to look at the flag, there are 2 mini flags on there with a bunch of other bigger flags.
Oh, you're right.
And then there's
you're
cannons.
so right.
Oh,
that's
that's so
4
tough.
for.
That's so tough.
That was
downtown.
Dude,
that was a way downtown pick.
Like 11-year-old me is going to give me an earful later for whiffing on all of these flags, dude. I used to be so much better
Guys,
at
I feel
this.
like Jude Bellingham. Right now.
I'm washed.
This is the most happy I think I've seen Anthony all day.
All right, I think we got time for one more. Sam, one more.
So this will decide. I want to say, I don't know, Tucker. You can pay me a $5, and we'll see how much I can get you back in on this one.
Whoa.
Well, because it's only worth 10 at
What
most.
is
You only
being
get 5 points.
You think Tucker's Balagun? What's going on?
That's crazy. Tucker, you can send me a Zelle right now. I see the phone, but we'll go. I actually need to count this one. 6 colors. This is like right
Oh,
off like a
okay.
6 colors.
Yeah. South Africa.
We have time for one more. We can do one more right off. That is South Africa. Right, like
bang.
I'm surprised. That was
6 colors.
There you go.
Yeah, there is 6 colors on it.
Red, green, blue, yellow, black is 5. There's one more, isn't there?
Yellow. Do you say yellow?
Did I say yellow?
I don't know.
Oh.
White. There's white on
there
the
is
outline
white.
of the
You're
green.
right. Yes.
Okay.
That
Well,
was
he's done that.
That was a
He's
complete
done it.
shout. I'm very surprised by it. We have quickly time for one more.
I'm much happier
on,
with my
let's go.
performance now.
All right. We have to try to do this as quick
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
possible.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of a clue for this one. Polygon.
Oh.
Polygon.
Okay, so that just doesn't help anyone, I think.
Throwing out a random guess.
I don't know.
Oh, is that going to count as a polygon? Morocco.
Anyone else want to get one in?
No, just yeah.
You gonna jump on the Morocco train?
No, I
sure.
was not gonna take the
No,
points.
no. I'll go South Korea.
Oh, okay.
Egypt. I don't know.
Tucker back to back to make it
Wow.
10 now. Do we have time for one more? I'm trying.
I don't think so.
Do you think we
Is
end
it tied
there?
right now?
It's not. It is. We have 14 to Anthony, 12 for Tisdale, with 10 for you, Tucker.
I'll take that.
I think that was a
loss.
heck of a comeback.
I'll take that.
I get the win to Tisdale. My fraudulent
super respectable performance at the end by me. But what a show! We talked about pretty much everything that we needed to going on in the sports world right now. The World Cup final tomorrow, the third place match in just 4 hours or 3 hours really after the recording of this show. All-star reactions, Yankees, Mets, the Open, LeBron, everything. What a show. It's been really fun being here with you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. For Bobby Chaffardini, our sports director, thank you to him for jumping on. Thank you to Sam John Grande on radio production. Thanks to Travis Hayden on the graphics today. And thanks to Anthony Smith and Thomas Tisdale for joining me, Tucker Austin, on One-on-One, a production of WFUV Sports.